Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance, where you'll find some of your favorite conversations around Metal Gear and Kojima-related content delivered to you through tactical podcast action. I'm your host, Warren Minix, and with me, as always, is a drunk Russian man who is stuffed in a barrel. Chris Hampton, how we doing, man?
Back on this shit again, huh?
Yeah, we might hear this again. And of course, also joined with us is someone who, for some reason, is always on a horse and scolds us as if she knows better, but it's probably because she actually knows better. Miss Tori Cortez, how we doing?
Why did you come back here?
So, we're doing this one again, huh, guys?
Yeah.
One more again.
We got here.
So
somehow.
If anything, we're getting a lot of practice. So, long story short, guys, we had some audio concerns.
It was my fault.
We did not have a proper number 6 for you guys, and we did not want to shortchange you. So we are burning the midnight oil to get this in time and on time for you guys. With that being said, we are talking about we just defeated the end. We are going to leave that boss fight, and we're going to go all the way through Groznygrad until we fight the Sorrow in the river. So we are doing another story-focused episode with some gameplay. Before we get started on that bit, though, Chris, is there anything you'd like to talk about before we get started?
Yeah, just shouts out to Matt, our audio editor, as always. Thank you for killing it. Big shout out to Shalashaska Moose, who at the time of this recording, which is later than the recording of episode 8 that you'll hear later on in the season, because now we're all out. But at the time of this recording, he's rejoined our Patreon community. So welcome back. We're happy to have you in the Discord. Where we're
so happy to see that he's back.
Playing our game of the month for this month, September. And that is, what game is that? It's kind of an indie title. I've never heard of it.
Oh, yeah. It's like a real low budge, not really like a big studio made it or anything. It's Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo, made by a little company called Square. I guess Square Soft at that time.
I didn't know they made soft squares.
I know, right? You can't even tell. And Tori, what do you have for us?
Yes, well, in addition to our random patron shout-out of the episode, I do have a 150-word message to read. We haven't had one of those in a while. Thanks to Jason Charniak, as I understand it, right?
Nice. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Charniak. I don't know. Sorry, I butchered it both ways, I'm sure.
Jason CZ.
Yo, Jason. Anyway, his message is as follows. The Metal Gear Mondays community has been a continuous source of inspiration and support. Getting to know everybody and seeing all the cool stuff they are doing with a true DIY spirit has reawakened the creative side in me that has been dormant for quite some time. To which I said, same. Since joining the Discord, sorry, that part was me editorializing. Same. I agree with you, Jason.
Big same.
Since joining the Discord, I've began to record music again, brushed up on my video, audio, image editing skills, dabbled in improv, and started a Twitch channel with my wife. And then Jason says, shameful plug here. I don't think it's a shameful plug, Jason. I think it's warranted at this point. So you can find Jason and his wife, Allie, at twitch.tv/Allie versus Jason. That's ALLYVSJASON. Every step of the way you have been cheering me on, and I can't thank you enough. Very excited for the direction the show is heading. Keep up all the hard work you're putting into this amazing podcast. Honestly, though, you've played the game for a long time. Don't you have anything else to do with your time?
I can't wait till we get to the game where it's
yeah, no kidding.
Like the weird.
I just want to say again, thank you for the kind words, Jason.
Yeah, Jason, you're the man, dude.
It's really easy to cheer on everybody in the Discord community because everybody in the Discord community is really creative and kind and encouraging of others. So it's a really good breeding ground for fun, creative space.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
we're just hodgepodging in there, aren't we?
Sure enough.
There's drawing, there's skating, there's
What isn't
video
there?
games, there's editing, there's video, there's movies.
They're showing
all
off.
kinds of shit
They're
there.
showing off your sweet duds.
Oh yeah.
What kind of food you're making? There's room for everybody here. Please come join us.
Agreed.
Got some milk for you.
Yeah,
You can
the
do
milkman
so
himself.
at
From the
shameless
milkman
plug.
himself.
Chris Hampton, the milkman. You can do so at patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays.
for just $1 a month.
Exactly, at least. If you want to give us more, give us more. It's not a big deal.
Oh, that'd be great, and we'll gladly, incentivize that. Feel free to read through and get us going. One of those is that we get to read off a random patron,
Woo!
and this is where we get to Tori Cortez, MGMR, ASMR.
Still sounds pretty
So
good, doesn't
subtle.
it?
Yeah, it's real subtle. Babbling brook, water over a babbling brook.
All right. Well, now that I've done that for a few seconds, it looks like this patron of the week is Charity Gage.
Wow. Hi.
Charity,
Hi, Charity.
joined, it looks like almost a year ago, joined the Discord and Patreon. And I know she hopped on for Death Stranding and at the time was streaming a bit of Death Stranding of her own, which was really awesome to watch. Talk about encouraging of everybody's creativity. I also got to hop in on a couple other streams of Charities on Twitch. I think she played,
Nice.
It was, oh shoot, don't tell me. Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is what she played. And it was,
Oh, that's a good game.
yeah,
I like
it was, that's one that I feel like I might play on my own, but I also would probably feel more inclined to watch somebody else play. And I really enjoyed checking out your stream of that game, Charity. So,
Yeah.
come on back and talk with us and start streaming some more if you got the time. I'd love to catch up with you.
Yeah,
That'd
for
be
sure.
great.
Thanks for sharing. I watched a bit of that Death Stranding stuff and it helped me a few times figure out a few of those puzzles that I just could not. Those hills,
Yeah, right?
that just are a little too high sometimes.
Right?
Don't
Anyway,
be so serious, Chris.
thanks again for your patronage, Charity.
And then do you want to give a little quick catch up? Because I know you were catching up on your pacifist survivalists.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to, but I know, there were a few people that were asking, like, how's that run going?
Yeah. Yeah. So at this point in time, at this re-record, I am still working on that pacifist run. It's a little bit harder than just your run and gun type play.
That is fantastic.
But up until this point of the game, I was able to make use of that croc cap that you find back at right after the swamp, I think, or in the swamp ish.
It's like in the swamp.
Yeah. I for the first time maybe ever, I actually put this thing to use, and it helped a lot in evading the guards of the next couple portions of the game. After that, so I wanted to give an update on that. I felt like less of a noob in doing that.
Nice.
I know my biggest problem in almost every pacifist run has been the warehouse, because at this point in time, I usually run out of suppressor for that Mark 22. And finally, fortunately for me, I found another suppressor because I pulled my head out of my ass basically and looked around me in the warehouse, or maybe it was before the warehouse. I don't know. I found two, I think, at this point. So getting through that warehouse was a lot easier. Let's see. Gained a couple new items this playthrough. I heard Chris mention this earlier. The Sig gas spray I found and utilized a lot. And
Nice.
the handkerchief that you put, what is that drug that puts people to sleep real quick? Chloroform. It's like a chloroform handkerchief, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically knockout shift.
Yeah, that stuff comes in real handy, because I know also the last episode I'm pretty sure I was complaining about the scientists and how they always spot me.
Yeah.
Just give them a little sick gas spray, give them a little chloroform. They're out, baby.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
Shoot.
It's bedtime.
Yep.
Other than that, the fear, I had a much better strategy this time, thanks to Warren and Chris. I threw out some poisonous mushrooms for him to eat, and I took advantage of his vomiting to just get a couple shots in, so that made that battle go a lot more smoothly.
The grossest wet mouth sounds ever.
Oh no, let's not recall that. We almost escaped that, Warren, and then you had to bring it back.
If there's an opportunity to bring up wet mouth sounds, I'm going to do it every time.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well,
moving right along.
It's been great working with you guys.
Right along.
Okay.
Let's see. So I haven't finished the battle with the end on Pacifist Run, but I do know that I was much too reliant on the directional mic, and I should have been utilizing other things like sonar and just generally moving around more. Honestly, I was really far too hesitant in my first playthrough of this, so I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated once I get past this guy.
Nice. And I'll say, by the time we get to the end of this, we're going to do a listener response. It's a very common thing we do on MGM. So when we go by season, by the end of the season, we like to do a big wrap up where you guys get a chance to send in. And if we get too many, we'd have to kind of make it work. But we like to get them all in, so that way if you have any questions about even just the show, if you want to talk about the game, if you want to bring up anything, we do a listener response episode at the end of the season, and you can reach out at contact@metalgearmondays.com to do that. We will constantly remind you guys as it's going, but we want to start getting this out now, so that way if you're trying to get through a playthrough or you really have a question of how maybe we didn't mention something you wanted to hear back in episode 4, this is the time to do it. With that said, guys, what are we thinking? Ready to move on?
I'm ready for this ladder boss.
All right.
What
ready for the ladder boss. So we finished this fight with the end, and the trees sort of let us walk into this tunnel, right? We walk through the tunnel, and we see a ladder. And I guess you just climb up. Quick little climb. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. And for some reason, a song starts playing. I don't think it's a very important song to the movie or the game or anything. It's just some rando.
It's just filler, really.
But how do we feel about Ladder Boss, guys?
Ladder Boss is Ladder Boss. It's iconic. You can't question Ladder Boss.
It just needs to be there. Maybe my favorite boss, because Ladder Boss is also meditation boss.
Right. So what I do love about this ladder boss, and in general the song that is accompanied with it, it's still funny. I still laugh every time. But two things. One, I can't climb a ladder in a video game if it's longer than like 2 or 3 seconds. I have to start singing this song. Like, it's just in my muscle memory. And I love the notoriety that this has now. Like, this did not have to be in the game. And I absolutely love that we have to hear this song. And the thing I do like, and I believe we had talked about this, the pacing of the game is really good, as far as you might have a lot of like really aggressive moments where it's a lot of gameplay and a lot of other parts happening. But then you have like a moment of respite, right? You have this long moment of taking your time, and you have to basically think about what you did in the game.
Yeah.
Now you go to your ladder and think about what you've done.
Right. And it sounds silly, but it is kind of that halfway point of the game. It really does feel almost right there if you try to look at each piece. As far as gameplay, yeah, this is right smack in the middle of like that time that it takes to play the game. And I love it. This is so good.
I really like that the game forces this on you. You know, it's all the things you said, you know, Warren, Tori. This is a moment of reflection, and in an action game, it's super risky, I think, to put this big pause moment, you know.
Sure.
Oh, definitely.
Some of Kojima's ideas are just like crazy, and I'm sure this was one of them that he probably got a few eyebrows raised at when he was like, I want to put a ladder in the middle of the game.
Really big ladder.
Yeah.
But why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea. I love it. It's probably one of the best boss fights in the game. If I had to rank it. If I had to rank it.
I did a little stream of consciousness note-taking here, and I just wanted to read off a couple lines that I came up with because to me they were amusing. You might disagree, but the first line was obviously, I love this song so much here, and especially since it's a cappella, right? It's just it gives that right atmosphere that you need for this moment of isolation and solitude. And then I think, Snake really has like 1,000 years right now to reflect on the mission so far. Oh, and so do I. And then I start thinking, God, how many bodies have I taken so far? And then right at that moment, Snake's stomach starts to belch a little bit. And so I go into my pause menu and I feed him. And I think about how many more bodies are being taken and consumed in this process. And then basically I come back and that's the end of Ladder Boss. And I go, well, fuck it. Here we go.
Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
We make our way to the top. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I think that's interesting, the different body counts in the sense of like, well, yeah, Chris Hampton's got a big body count going already. But
indeed he does.
Also body counts in the sense of like all the critters you have to kill and so on, and that's not easy.
Yeah, it's a big part of the game, and that's why I wanted to start a pacifist and like minimalist file, was because I realized that in previous playthroughs I had been far too reliant upon just filling up my stockpile of food, and then my food would go rotten. And I thought, well, fuck, how wasteful. That animal died for and I know this is digital, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, this is digital. These animals aren't real, but when you're playing through a game that simulates life to the extent that Snake Eater does, where it forces you to really make these decisions, I thought, shit, there's a better way I can be playing this.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the point of it.
Being more efficient, you mean, or
right, and not killing animals just to collect them and maybe have the chance of eating them later, but only killing an animal so much as I know it's going to serve me in the near future. You know what I mean? Only keeping it so far as I know I'm going to need a meal in the next couple of screens or in the next 30 minutes of play or whatever, and not just stockpiling those animals because you can collect as many pieces of food as is possible to carry on, and you can get through quite a bit of the game. But if you put the game down for a while, like I had a tendency to do, I would come back and there would be flies and maggots in the food, as if to the little fly icon to suggest it's rotted. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about how often I would see that and go, damn, I'm really being wasteful in this game. This game is trying to tell me that I'm being wasteful.
Mm. That was deep.
God damn it, Snake, get
That's
the
some
fuck
deep
up.
stuff.
Yeah, that exactly.
Oh.
So we make our way to the top of the ladder.
Yep.
And we are now at the mountain base. Now, Krasnogorye? Would that be accurate?
Yeah, Krasnogorye.
Okay, Chris's Russian lesson.
By bad Russian lesson for today is so Krasnogorye means Red Ridge Mountains. So this is Red Ridge Mountains mountain base.
Love it. Now, what's cool about this area, though, I actually, it's another twist on the terrain. I love how we're not seeing a lot of the same thing over and over again. So we went from lush forests and, trench warfare, essentially, all this kind of stuff. But now we are really windy, really high Alpine Ascent mountain base.
We're actually about to get into trench warfare.
Oh, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all sandy. So I don't know about you guys. I was rocking the animals camo.
As long as
which did a pretty good job.
I realized at the last recording, I remember telling you guys I started out with animal camo and then had to change out of it, and I couldn't remember why. It was because I got shot a bunch and bled on it. And I remembered the tip from Major Zero and Sigint and everybody saying, oh, well, if you just take off your camo and change to another one, that'll clean the blood right up. Yeah, so from that,
At least it works.
I changed to Desert Tiger, I think was the next one.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I think it's only like 5
Definitely.
points, 5 index points down from Animal.
Yeah. Still pretty solid.
Yeah.
But did anybody else? I mean, I just did my little crawl, avoid the spiders, kind of avoid the vultures. They didn't really bother me too much.
So,
And I was just popping people. I was waiting for their little heads to pop up because there's a lot of cool ridges and things where you could sort of hide and
the
just
terrain.
lay flat. The terrain is great. It's really good. And you can actually like miss guards.
Yes.
Because they're like indented into the terrain. So you might accidentally just run right into one.
Yeah.
But
You kind of just
my
see
gameplay
like,
is so
their
slow.
little heads, like raisins
Yeah, just
or something.
a little. Yeah, and I
Little tiny
crawled
raisins
the
in the
entire way.
distance.
Yeah, I crawled the entire way, so I never ran into any of them. But I do like how they're starting to put more enemies. So these
And
areas
clever
have 3 and 4 and
positions, too.
5 guard. Yes, which is great. And there's ways to still sneak around them. You have the guys that are always planted, that are
Right.
just sort of overseeing the ridge. So you have to stay far out towards the edge if you want to avoid his vision. I like that stuff, and it's
So,
an interesting progression in the game. But yeah, go ahead, Tori.
Speaking of like new terrains and new places to look, this was the first time that I really thought, well, shit, I am going to rely on all of the things in my menu as much as I can. And this is when I pulled
Go
out the
on.
scopes and just like
Yes.
tagged everybody's position as much as I could. And I found those little raisin heads in the distance. And then I looked up and to the right and I saw one, I think with a sniper rifle, either a sniper rifle or like an RPG or some projectile, something that could get me from afar. And I was like, oh, fuck, good to know that's where he is. And, you know, I would scan out for the vultures. And then I unequipped the binos and I went ahead and tranquilized a vulture just so I could say I ate one. And they're okay, by the way. Snake's like, he's fine with them.
Yeah. And they don't care about anything. You can keep shooting bullets like crazy, and they just still hang out and eat on the corpses.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, I have a thing to say about that later too.
Sure.
You're not wrong. But yeah, otherwise through most of this, or at least this section, I used a lot of shrapnels and a lot of chaffs to make sure they couldn't radio out. Oh, I'm sorry, a lot of shrapnel grenades. So just regular ass grenades. And then the M63, of course, is my favorite because, as we have talked about fondly, Warren, when you hold down on the fire button for, I don't know, a couple seconds or more, Snake starts this ridiculous yell. This,
Yeah.
It's something you can't not trigger if you have the potential to.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you make your way to the mountainside, so we were at the mountain base, we're making our way to the mountainside and we're starting to continue our climb. And first off, I love now they're adding, we were talking about verticality in previous portions of this story. I love there's so many lines of sight in this section and future sections where there's a guy coming out of a depot who's in a trench, but then he walks up a set of stairs and maybe hangs out by the edge to look over. There's so many different routes you sort of have to dodge or hide behind something, or honestly just stay in the trenches if you have to.
Oh, yes.
Just to do it. Other than finding the RPG-7, which is fucking dope. I did do a little bit. I hate killing things. I've been trying to be Mr. Sandman, but the hovercraft guys, I just put them to sleep and watch them die when they collapse.
I don't think that counts as your kill count, though. If you tranquilize them, that's still not you ending them.
When we get to a boss fight later, they count. They definitely count.
No, really? I didn't think I saw any of them.
Now, what I did like is I was having a lot of fun sniping here because I did have the SVD-7.
Oh,
so
yeah,
being able to take someone out really far out that I
that
know would be a problem later, that was like a really great way to do it. Did anybody else have any interesting or fun ways? I almost wanted to like punch, like do a 1, 2, 3 to kick a guy like off the cliff just because, but I didn't want to kill him. So I did the normal boring hide, Sandman, do my thing. So how did everybody else do?
Chris, did you have you're on mute right now, by the way, but did you have any strategy you relied on here?
My strat was take the M37 and go to town, I'm Shotgun Willie in this playthrough.
You have absolutely doubled down on that, and I'm here for it. I'm supporting you.
Yeah. So I think what you get up through the area with the trenches and so on. This area is actually really advantageous to use the shotgun, though. No joke, because
sure,
you're in a trench.
Sure.
You just kind of point and click with that. And if you're not doing like a pacifist playthrough or anything like that, I would highly recommend just using that. Have we gotten to the helicopter yet?
That you have
was
the
about to ask
potential
you guys
to
about
here, definitely. Can I say my piece on the trenches, just to give another perspective before we get to helicopter?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, Chris, Mr. Chris, Mr. Shotgun. My favorite thing about this part of the mountain and onward is the foxholes they give you, the little badger tunnels that you could crawl through, and the little foxholes that contain like grenades and sometimes healing items. So the great thing about these is on a not pacifist run, you can just fucking square up in here and wait for the guards to come get you if you've accidentally alerted them, which is great because, they show up at the doorway and you've got the advantage there, which of course reminds me of Inglourious Bastards. You guys might know.
Yeah.
You might know the moment I'm referring to. You don't fight in a basement for a lot of reasons. One of them being you're in a fucking basement. And I think the guards from this game should have learned that a long time ago, because once you get me in a foxhole with an AK or an M63, oh man, it's just, it's so good. It's so good to utilize those.
You're done.
Oh, damn, Skippy.
Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll say we're progressing through, and there are some food storage and some medical supply spots. We can blow them up if we'd like. We'll get to the mountain top. So the last of the screens before we get to our next story bit. And there's a medical supply there. There's a lot of munitions up here. You can get the splitter camo up here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where we have almost the most fun, I guess, where you could choose to
for sure
really wreck house with your sniper. You can scope. You take those sweet-ass guns, and you can shoot down a Hind D.
Hind D.
Do you guys go for the Hind D?
Chris, that was good. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I totally take that motherfucker down every single time. Yeah, so this is where Snake, in my playthrough, we call this chapter Snake Goes to War. So there's lots of RPGs flying around, lots of explosions. Boom, 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 boom. I blew up both of the munitions depots.
Nice.
In these areas. And taking out that helicopter is just so satisfying.
It is, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
So do you, when you take it out, usually my tried and true method is hopping on one of those turrets, aiming for the blades spinning at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually takes, I don't know, a few seconds of sustained trigger pulling. Yeah. And then it goes down after a few, right?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a one shot, one kill kind of situation.
Oh, definitely no. But it's fun to do when you can pull it off. When you don't have guards shooting at you from other areas, by the way, because that does pose a challenge.
Oh yeah. But it is great. This whole little Krasnogorye section is really great. I really love, it's awesome how many different places you can hide and get the jump on anyone and still have someone like over your shoulder catch you.
Dude, those trenches are also forgiving. So when I was doing the pacifist run, I gotta say I had a lot more fun not doing the pacifist run. But when I was doing the pacifist run, those trenches, excuse me, good Lord, those trenches are very forgiving. You can,
Sure.
if you apply, equip words. Woof.
Application.
Listen, you guys, listen.
Install.
Yeah.
Listen, we are 2 days out from the day I've been planning for a year and a half. My brain,
the day of my daughter's wedding,
is no longer a thing that is working. Anyway, once you equip the AP sensor,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
just,
do you
it's
use the
so,
AP sensor?
this is the only place I regularly use it because
It's a great place. It's
when
a
I'm
great place to
crawling
use it.
out of a tunnel and into the open trench, I want to know if somebody's walking up above me and can see me.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
when I know the AP sensor is beeping rapidly, beep, 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 then it's not a good time to climb out. But that guard walks away and the beeps slow down. And yeah, I can get out there and then just trank him a second later.
Yeah.
It's like, it's some real strategy. And this is when I feel my fucking coolest, when I'm just trudging through these trenches. It reminds me of Death Stranding in a lot of ways.
Ooh.
Just saying, Zol. Hideo Kojima loves
I feel
his
like
trenches.
the foothill area at the beginning of this, before you start the ascent, that's kind of like Death Stranding is kind of what Kojima had in mind for that area.
Yeah.
Right.
It feels
And
like
if the technology had been available, you know, we would have had this like kind of like walking sim experience through that area, which would have been probably pretty sweet.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
That's one of the reasons I think I would love to see this game in particular remade using
Oh my god.
a modern engine,
We can
because
will
of
it
like
into existence, guys.
the desire to go really deep experientially is pretty evident here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we get through the area and we have to get into the mountaintop ruins. So we find a door on like the northeast corner and we are welcomed to a cutscene. We are sneaking in and we run into our favorite spy, Miss Eva, and she is sporting her sexy outfit.
Hello.
She's got her little sexy music coming in. Little saxophone going on. And the thing that confuses me is they draw attention to the boots. And she like kicks the boots underneath as if to say, we don't know she's also Tatiana.
Yeah.
Like it feels a little handholdy.
That
like
is when all of the things that Kojima feels it's necessary to document become a little bit much. You know, like we could have gotten that on our own. What other blonde ladies do we see strutting through the jungle? Just those two.
Pretty much. Yeah. And the boss.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Also, I guess Adam is a
Well,
blondie.
Sorry, Adam's a blonde lady?
He's a blondie, but yeah.
I mean, you catch him at the right angle. Man's got curves. Okay. He looks great. Right.
He
He's obviously
is-
working out. He's taking
he's a-
care of himself.
He's a pretty man.
He's a looker.
Yeah.
He's a looker.
He's got a good profile.
Absolutely. So I like this conversation a lot, actually. This entire dynamic of the two of them having a conversation. There's a few things that happen in this. So first off, I'll call it out. My wife's favorite line in this video game, and actually all of Metal Gear is in this, where he notices the scars on her back, and they sort of have a talk about it, and he says that he has scars all over. That was like her first line ever hearing Metal Gear Solid, and I was trying to explain to her that the voice acting is good in these games. And she heard that line almost, it was like her first experience, and she was like, these are the dumbest fucking games I've ever heard in my life.
Same. Scars all over.
I felt so bad. She loves them for what they are, but like that was her first taste of like good, quote unquote, good voice acting, and she was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That's why you see David Hayter still quoting them all over the place,
true.
because it
It's
is
so true.
dumb and he can own it, and it's great.
But it's interesting though, they like she's talking about her scars, and normally it's one of those that happens a lot in like action movies, but she tries to play off like one of her scars, and he says like, no, that's way older than that. So he's trying to like learn more about her. She's clearly being standoffish to still hide her quote unquote true identity, because we still don't know who she actually is.
Right, because he says that scar is older than the repercussions
Than
of
when you
defecting.
defected. Right. This conversation with Eva, I really, there's a lot of little bits that are fun. So we're talking about the scars. I love, she sort of pushes him about the boss, right? She kind of picks on him a little bit to be like, so do you love her? And he goes into the, we had talked about it previously, but he says he owes half his life to her. And there was like a math equation we did there where we're like, wow, she really met him like at exactly half his age. So I thought maybe he meant like I've known her half my life, but he actually says like, I owe half my life. Like he feels like she's his other half sort of a thing, which I like that. But I love that she pushes back like, well, then do you hate her? Like, this is your enemy. What are you going to do about this? And it's an interesting dichotomy. Like they have a good little conversation about it.
Right.
And you can tell they're like pushing the buttons because the boss sort of does that to him as well. Like the mission has to get completed. I don't care if I'm at the end of it, right? She is sort of leading towards that as we go through.
Where do the boss's loyalties lie?
Yes.
I have a feeling we'll find out.
Eventually, yeah.
Here's hoping.
Maybe it'll happen towards the end of this game. We'll see.
Here's hoping. One thing I
But-
do want to, I don't want to leave this conversation without mentioning the fact that Eva can, in 1 second, dismiss Snake's question about her scar that's obviously too old to have occurred at the time she said it did, and the next say, well, what about you? What's up with you and the boss? And he just like instantly is like hooked into it. She
Yep.
knows how to manipulate his emotions and his experience of this mission, because for him there's no getting around the fact that he has to face her at the end, like you were saying,
Mhm.
Warren.
Yeah,
And
Eva's really good, man.
She
She's
is,
a good spy.
and
She's a good
to
spy.
have fooled him so far when we as the player think it's really obviously it's Tatiana. She's Tatiana, obviously, right?
Right.
But she has Snake fooled up until the moment that he gets to her later and kind of spies on her with Sokolov. And he's like, Tatiana. And still at that point,
Right.
he
And I
doesn't
guess
know.
we keep knocking Snake because it's really not showing the boots is for us, not
Right.
for Snake.
Right.
Right.
So we already know because we get to see all the other things that are happening in this game where Snake is just in a fucking jungle somewhere. So it makes a lot more sense when you think about it as if you're playing the character, not the player. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I guess one thing I'll just never be able to get over is Tatiana / Eva's disguise is just Clark Kent versus Superman. It's just glasses and slicking back the hair.
hmm
Yeah. And
Well-
a little bit, maybe a little bit more eyeshadow. You
I
gotta
think that's
look a
part
little,
of the
little
camp
sad.
of it,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
there are parts where James Bond like just puts on sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like his Saint St. John Smythe, I think is like one of his stupid fucking names. James St. John Smythe.
Oh my god.
So-
Yeah, I guess I'm just on
Yeah.
I'm on the fence about camp like that. Sometimes I think it works in Metal Gear Solid and sometimes I don't. And this is a moment I guess I just don't
Sure.
love it.
I think it's probably there to remind you that you can never take this game too seriously.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
And this part too, it's funny that you say that, Tori, because this is where I in the notes that I put, this is where I really start to not fall for Eva, but I'm starting to win. Like she's winning me over as a character. I'm like, shit, this chick is really good at being a spy and being on both sides of the fence and fooling everyone. Always has what you need moving forward. And she didn't. It's one thing if she like was triple crossing and someone was like feeding her all the info she needs. She actually had to spy her way through this.
Yes.
Like we only learn way later, and it was way late in the story that she maybe has some help, but she's been doing this all with her own sort of motivations where it's not like someone in the game is literally on base like helping her to make her
Right.
look way better than she really
And
is.
that's
So
why her role in this is so impressive. The fact that she's able to do all that and keep Snake, also a really good and well-trained spy, from sniffing her out. Like, that's impressive.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. And we learn why later. We definitely will talk about that in an episode. So we go through a lot of stuff. So she gives us some delicious noodles, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And she does
That's
have
tasty.
the sexy line of, I bet if I kissed you, you taste like a wild beast. And yeah, I get it.
Oh man.
But we also learn a lot, and they're doing it again. They do that Groznygrad, that badass like intro. They do like the Mission Impossible thing of like, you know, if you want to try to break into this, you're a fucking idiot because there's this many levels of security and you're going to have to do this and jump in. And there's, you know, like they do all this stuff, but it's really well done as far as like, oh, this is like the final level, right? Like it's just basically building up like everything you've learned. You better know how to utilize it in this place because guess what, bro? You're going to be allowed to play in this place that we're building up.
This is like in the heist movie, you know, where they're planning the infiltration. And the camera's like panning over, like, here's the grate you got to crawl through, and like the cameras. And
that's when I start tuning in.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and they're picking apart, and it's great. They also do a good job. So they talk about, they put like another angle of like a ticking clock in front of us because she mentions that Khrushchev basically has wind of what's going on because we're starting to get to the crunch line of when Snake Eater needs to be completed. So we got 7 days to do what we're doing. We don't really know exactly when we got in there versus how much time is left. But Khrushchev is over it and is already sending in like his own faction to like, fuck it, we're going to do our own thing and we'll take care of America later. So it's like an added element of like naturally building up the story with stakes and things like that moving forward. And then we also get to meet fucking Ivan Raidenovich Rykov. We're going to wear that mask. We're going to impersonate him because we need his colonel clearance to get into Groznygrad, the weapons lab, when the time comes, because he's the only one that shouldn't have it but does. So we're going to fake being him, and we're going to do our thing. Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Anything you want to talk about Raiden until we get to him? Raidenovich.
Oh, so we're not going to talk about the Fury on the way there?
What's it? Oh, no. This is just us. This is just the conversation. She's showing us how we're going to break in.
Oh, gotcha.
We're going to get down. We're going to sneak through the sewers. We're going to go up. We're going to act like we're him, get into the weapons lab so that we can get to the Shagohod.
Gotcha.
So just seeing if we felt any certain ways about how it was told to us or anything. I actually legitimately love this like whole section, and I made a joke. One of my notes was Eva's definitely earned a lot more than a kiss, if you ask me at this point, because she is really getting you everywhere you need to go in this game, which is incredible.
Does.
Yeah, she says like she's like, you got to get in through the basement. He's like, oh well, Granin already gave me a key, and she's like, that key isn't gonna work.
She's like,
that's not. And
try again, he's like, Snake. Dummy.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, maybe he was drunk. Like I don't know why he gave me this then. So she gives you the right key, right? Like she just has everything you need, and she's really doing a good job.
Something about that though.
Yeah.
What possible reason could there have been for Granin to give us a key that wasn't going to work? Like, why would Kojima and company be writing that in?
No idea.
I think the big thing is that it got us through the warehouse, and he just probably had more clearance than he thought he did, because we kind of learn later that Volgin is sort of just an asshole as far as even his own people. Like Granin probably did have access with that key not 2 weeks ago, but once they learned about Sokolov and threw him in the library so he can just get drunk all the time, then they they let him get out of the building and all that, but not into Groznygrad.
Okay,
is how I took it. And maybe it would have worked, and then maybe it could have been a trap, but I don't know. Granin doesn't strike me as someone that wanted to stop Snake by the time we had that conversation with him.
That's fair. I just never understood, like, why would he give us a key that we could ostensibly use? And then Eva's like, you dipshit, why would you think that?
More espionage. It's a double, triple, quadruple cross.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing, though. It was like, because Adam's very suspicious of Eva at the tail end of this cutscene here that we see, and here.
Well, right. So I'll get us there because we're not there yet.
Oh,
I know where you are.
Right.
I'm gonna get us there. So we get through that. She John Wicks her way like right down to the bottom of Groznygrad. Like what takes us like 45 minutes, it takes her 11 seconds.
Jesus.
And the only reason why I had to stop you, Chris, is because this moment right here is like a super important video game moment for me. And you get to walk out on the other side of the ruins, and you just have that mountaintop where you where it's in engine overlooking the entirety of Groznygrad.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in Snake's, like it's actual in-game footage. It's not a cutscene or anything. So you actually get to watch. You pull out your binoculars. You get to look at everybody, and you are zooming in, checking out stuff. And that's where we chime in, and we see that Volgin is just going to town on this like barrel, just punching it, ripping it to shreds. And we sort of zoom in, and it lets us into a cutscene.
But he seems happy about it too.
Oh, he loves it. And then we learn that fucking Granin is inside the barrel, and he is next level dead. Like, his insides are paste at this point, let alone all the electricity and all the other stuff going on.
But I'm laughing.
And he's just like, I don't know, he's just having a good time. He does like a Dragon Ball Z move, like a Kamehameha kind of thing, like double punches it. He's just a nut job. And so then they're checking. He finds the tracker, right? So I guess maybe the intent is Granin knows where our spy is, right? Maybe he's the turncoat. He's the one that's been feeding Snake, this CIA dog, information throughout the whole thing. He never said anything, so they're like, oh, maybe he's not the spy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they find the tracker in his shoe. And I thought, it's a fun callback because he says, nice shoes.
Right.
But Eva definitely put that tracker in him.
Yeah, because he
Snake.
said, Tatiana gave them to me.
Right, exactly. So Eva put it in there, and it almost immediately, it's very interesting. So right off the bat, Ocelot's like, so Granin isn't the spy, or Granin is the spy, and Volgin's just like, well, no, someone was probably helping him. Like, he just knows that Granin wasn't the spy, I guess because he believes his brutal beatings gets the info you need out of him. You know what I mean?
I think he also just kind of looked down on Granin and was like, thought of him as like incompetent. Too.
Right.
Was the spy? Perhaps he was being used by someone else. Perhaps. This man was our comrade. Comrade or not, he's of no use to us now. I don't approve of your methods. I don't need your approval.
He's such an
I'm in
asshole.
command here. And that nuclear shell?
So yeah, you're absolutely right. So we get to this point, and Ocelot we're basically on Ocelot's side now. Like, Ocelot doesn't even agree with Volgin that, like, how he's handling this is the right way to handle this. He's talking about killing his comrades. He's talking about firing nuclear weapons in Russia, right? He's not even following what needs to be done properly with regards to how he's handling this sort of Groznygrad and the Shagohod's information. There's some cool moments. Like, I love the split screen. I love, like, how they're sort of doing their thing. And of course, the line is awesome of the, what are you going to do? Call the authorities? Like, it's pretty good. Like,
yeah.
I'll give him credit for that.
It's a good sleazy line from Volgin.
Right. And they're starting to have their own little, fighty fight moment. And then the boss comes in like a fucking G.
Mm-hmm.
And she does
On
her
her
normal,
white
like,
horse.
it's so good. She just rolls in and is like, the fear and the end are, the fear and the end are dead, and just like throws the gun, like the crossbow, on the ground. And it's really good. But then again, you start to see, she looks at Eva, or Tatiana, because she shows up out of nowhere too, and they sort of have like a like a bromance of like, gotcha, like, we're gonna do this together kind of thing. Real subtle, but it's there, and you're like, fuck, has she been like in cahoots with the boss the whole time? Like, is that a thing? And I like that. It's like a little extra added level of espionage. And but yeah, speaking to your thoughts on how they are, Ocelot and Volgin, like, I'm totally on Ocelot's side at this point. You kind of get the feeling that Ocelot is morally trying to take the high road at this point. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be Gru and, love your country, but
yeah,
it's a whole nother thing to be straight up murdering people who may or may not even have the information that you're trying to gather.
Right. And you don't even know because you beat them senseless before you got that information.
Right. Definitely. So now, sorry to have overwritten you there, Chris, but now we are where you are. So
yeah.
But yeah, I love this cutscene, and this is where you're talking about. So now I love the gun. So he's got the little single crossbow, the little John, and he's like doing his little flip maneuvers because Ocelot's obsessed with handguns. And yeah, he is incredibly suspicious of Tatiana. And he's, sniffing her. He's just kind of, he's just being kind of gross. And he does the finger guns because he's flipping the thing and he like points the gun at her face and everything. And I don't know.
Oh, at this point, it's...
You like it?
I like it how he does
overall,
it because, first off, he does his finger guns,
Today,
which is amazing.
I learned
Anytime he
what
does finger
Warren's
guns.
kinks are.
Yeah. Crossbows and finger guns.
Ew, Warren.
That's my /r Reddit.
So we were talking in a previous episode about one of the Fear's crossbows, which is used here to point to Eva's neck. Which one was it?
I think it's a Little John.
Little John. Of
I hope I'm
course.
correct.
Little John, of course it was.
And the only thing I want to add up, and we talked about it before, but it seems like nobody is familiar with the Sorrow. And we talk about it because, of course, we're going to learn a lot about the Sorrow later. We've seen the Sorrow probably, I think, at least once where you're sort of forced to. The boss talks about him. She's gesturing to him. You can hit R1 and see him a couple times. But you even learn, like, when she comes in and says, like, the pain, the fury, and the end are dead, he's like, that just leaves the fury.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true as far as Snake is concerned. And I guess so does the boss. She kind of knows that too, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting that they don't call attention to the Sorrow, but the fury will when we get to him. So it's just, I don't know, a little interesting that he is sort of forgotten by the living, in a sense. That, but in our eyes as the player, he is very much still a member of the Cobra unit. So it makes for a pretty good storytelling device when we get towards the end of this episode.
And I think that now that we're kind of being led into this moment, I think the fact that the Fury is the only one to call him out is poignant, right? We're just about to get to the Sorrow here in a little bit. And up until this point, most of the bosses have been consumed. The battle bosses have been consumed in their own, I don't know, pizzazz that they bring to this fight. Like, the pain is just talking about how much pain he's going to put Snake through. The fear is just talking about how much of the fear he's going to bring to Snake. The Fury is the only one who kind of projects out into the abstract and talks about the bigger picture.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think,
more than just you versus him.
Right. And I think it makes sense that he's the only one to call out the Sorrow as a member of the Cobra unit. And Warren, I think the last time we recorded, you kind of spoke as to why, or at least if you theorized why he would have.
Yeah, I guess the joke is that, like, he's already dead inside. He's seen both ends. Like, he's seen the world's end in his brain. So that would make him certainly almost on the same playing field as the Sorrow. He just somehow actually has the ability to engulf the world in flames, is what we're going to learn shortly. So we're almost at the Fury. So we'll get there in a second, just because that's awesome. So we have our stuff. We basically learn that stuff. We have to now go down the mountain to follow where Eva just went, just in our own way. And we have to break into the underground tunnel so that we can get through there. So it's basically the same maps, nothing crazy, but I do love the extra piece they add, the fire bat sort of soldiers that they have that have the helmet on so you can't clip them in the head. And I love that, like, it almost sounds like an ATST style, like Star Wars. Like, you can hear, like, the metal clinking as they walk with all their stuff like that. That's a really cool.
It's nerve-wracking
really
if
cool
your
sound
strategy
design.
was to belly crawl through the trenches.
Yeah, because they ruin that for you almost immediately, which is clever that they did that, because it's a good way to, you have to change up your playstyle, or
right.
I shot him in the foot and just prayed for him to fall asleep.
Oh, that's definitely what I did. That's definitely what I did. Or I struck him as close to the heart as possible, because if you get him in the right spot on their torso, either their heart or their nads or their butthole.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
perfect.
young Neil trying to bring the nasty moments back to the show.
Well, you can also just wait for them to turn their back and
Yeah.
pull out that shotgun. And
Oh my
shoot
God,
them.
No, you weren't
Chris.
you're not gonna trank them. You're just gonna shoot the shotgun at their tank, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that works though.
And if you wait till
cool
they're
as
around
shit.
other soldiers too, you can
Oh,
get
nice.
multiple
Turn them into
twofer.
their own little grenade.
double kill.
You get a 2-for-1 special.
So we make our way into the tunnel. We climb down the ladder, and we are surrounded by a crap ton of ammo and things like that. So I was a little like, oh shit, this might be boss time. I'm a little nervous. Once they give us a lot of ammo is when I get really nervous.
Yeah.
And we walk into this sort of like opening. It almost looks like just big, massive hallways, like sluice gates kind of a thing. And we get to meet our man, the Fury.
This guy.
The fury, the flames of my rage will incinerate you. I came back from space. As I returned, I had one vision: the world set ablaze. And do you know what I saw later? Fury. A great and terrible fury at being alive. Now you're going to feel the scorching heat of that horrible blackness.
This guy is so fucking cool.
Let's give it up for Richard Doyle, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh,
that
man,
guy.
he's so good.
Yeah.
He's just like this cosmonaut looking guy that's just, I don't know, he's for such a, like, we can make fun of the boss fight when we get to that, but his design, the way he holds himself, and like I love his diction, like the way he talks, the way he does his whole motif is fucking awesome. Like, he is so much flash and sizzle, not to call a pun on the flames, but he's so good at setting up like such a cool interaction, I guess, because we'll talk about the boss fight in a second. I don't know if it's as exciting,
Mhm.
but this guy's a nut job, and we'll get into him when we talk about the baddies, so that'll be coming up in an episode or two. But basically, yeah, he tells us that he saw this horrible blackness and he wants to share in the fury, like, with you. Like, you're part of the problem because he hates everything. And as far as the gameplay around this badass, we can call back to a joke about Pac-Man fights, where this is very Vulcan Raven, because it is just hallways and dodging. But the first thing that I'll bring up before we make it a little round table is I learned in my research before playing this game is how much, if you focus on being quiet in the fight, it goes so much easier of him finding you. So I used to just wear all black and run around because it's a very dark sewer, so you can be almost invisible as far as your camo index. But if I'm running across and running back and forth and trying to find him, he will hear me and fly over. But if I take my time and focus on being quiet, it's a lot easier to get that SVD and just pop him and knock him out. How did everybody else do with this fight?
Yeah, I usually fare pretty well here. I do, real quick before I get into fight, I just want to, I guess, expand upon your mention of his, I don't know, classiness and his whole intro.
He's so good.
I love the drama of him shooting off his flamethrower and batch dropping. Batch dropping. Wow. Plus the opposite of what I'm doing, which is speaking eloquently about his whole spiel, right? He's setting himself up as a character far more than, like we said a few minutes ago, far more than the pain or the fury. He's giving us a reason to be invested in his story because he can communicate it so clearly. And this is
he has
when
like
I
a
think,
manifesto, like, sort of thing. Yeah.
right, exactly. And this is when I think every time I've played this game, I get more invested in story and in lore. is when I come up to this boss fight. But yeah, I basically treat this like the fight with the Raven in Metal Gear Solid 1. You know, I set claymore traps for him as much as I can. Other than that, I just wait to get in a good position to find him. Like if I go to the end of let's see. If I go to the end of each column, I guess, and just walk across them to see where he is, I can usually catch him, or I'll pay attention to where his fire is coming from.
Sure.
And then I'll just position myself advantageously. It wasn't, I never found this one to be that tricky, but I don't know. That's just me, I guess. Chris?
And what about Shotgun Bang? What up with that thing?
Pretty shitty.
No.
Yeah, fuck this guy. I like this character. I hate this boss fight. It's kind of bullshit. There's really only like one good way to get through it. You can't cheese it. You can't do anything like that. The fact that the Fury sneaks up on Snake is really surprising, you know? Because I know like it's dark, right? And that's part of the challenge is like, where is he? And you can't rely on the thermal goggles because he messes with that using the flamethrower and such.
Right.
But
and the clinking of
lucky.
his boots.
This dude is Hank the fucking tank with his boots, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ka-chink.
He comes cranking around and like makes these big explosions, and it's always just like, bah, 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 bah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so awesome, though. And I love that if you think you're, just because you're all the way, like, yeah, he can like walk and then sort of run, right? He can like kind of truck towards you a little bit. And you have these long hard corridors, so you're thinking you got all the time in the world, and he'll just kick on that jetpack and like right at you. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but the sound of
Holy
his
shit.
boots gets thrown. It's like you can hear the clink of his boots, sure, but you don't know where they're coming from.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. You just know he's moving, basically.
Yeah.
You can kind of gauge it, but it's not obvious that he's close or far.
So, Chris, what was your strategy?
Yeah. What's the strat, man?
The strat is eventually I just caved and followed Warren's strat with the sniper and all that stuff. It's really the only easy way to get to him. Yeah. If you can shoot him in the head consistently enough and quick enough, you can stagger him, is what I found. And like that's the trick. It's like if you hit him once and he finds you, you're fucked. Because he's going to jetpack over to you and blow some shit up and set fire to everything. And it's really hard to run away fast enough from that flamethrower. It chases you pretty effectively.
Right. Yeah, because you don't have the ability to, not as much to go from hallway to hallway. There's maybe one or two openings in between, but you're
Otherwise
not
you
just
have
like
to go
able
to one
to slide
end.
over. Right,
Yep.
exactly. So it's cool, man. We can mock, it's very Raven, right? It's very Pac-Man, but if you know what you're doing, like this is another different way to fight a boss in this game. They still use another piece of your tool belt to succeed in this fight. You do not have to just go in guns a-blazing. You do not have to use the sniper rifle. It's not necessarily recommended, but it does make life a lot easier if you have it. But sometimes I bet you some parts of it just get close enough to them, shoot the machine gun, and then get out of dodge. Like make sure you're in a different hallway.
That was my
and then
method.
just shoot them and slide over. Yeah, it
I would,
seems like you can do that.
I would set one or two, whereas in the Raven fight, I'm setting like 3 or 4 maybe. I would just set one or two pieces of TNT, and if he caught him, great. If not, whatever. I would just avoid him. But otherwise, it's really up to you to pepper him with a shotgun if you're Chris, or a machine gun if you're most anybody else, I feel like.
Sure. But hey, it works. And we win the fight. And he has probably the most interesting of ending of like how they all have their little moment of like, let me tell you a little bit about me before I die. And I want to get a little into this because this is really dope.
Boss.
Nope.
This is the end of the Cobras. I've got to live on. You're the only one left. I'm off. Join the sun.
is this guy's deal?
He's Voldemort.
Behold, the flames of fury, the fires of hell will purge the tree. I can see it. Mission Control, do you read me? I'm coming home. I see the earth.
So he slams into the roof of where you are, comes back down as a giant flame, like Ghost in the Machine face, and chases you down a hallway.
Like Voldemort at the end of the first Harry
Yep.
Potter.
It's insane.
All while giving a soliloquy that makes deep references to the David Bowie song Space Odyssey.
Oh,
Absolutely.
shit!
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't
And it's
realize that till
so
you played that
fucking
clip just
cool,
now,
man.
Warren, but the
yeah.
mission, I'm coming home.
Oh,
it's
that- yeah, I
that's
guess that is pretty
literally what
obvious.
it is. It's oh man, he's just got such a great, like, he's definitely one of those I would have liked to have learned more about him
From
in
Codec
other
calls and
media.
such.
Yeah, he's for such a simple design as far as boss fight, he brings so much more to the table.
Agreed.
And when we get to the baddies episode, you guys will hear it. There's not a lot about these bad guys, right? We have a little bit of a history that happened before this game starts and how they're involved in Operation Snake Eater. But we have a little. He has more than most, but just not enough. There's just so much
Yeah.
awesome stuff in there that I would have loved to have found out when that time came. But we have beaten the Fury,
Just barely,
and
in some
Yeah.
cases.
and we make our way out the other side of the tunnel, and we pop out of, I guess, like a manhole cover, whatever you want to call it, like an access entrance to the sewers.
Something like
Sure.
that.
And yeah, and I absolutely love how they sort of like sizzle reel why Groznygrad, like, you know, you're there. They have like the cut scene that shows like, look at how many tanks are here, and look at the spotlights, and check out this guard checking out 6 other guards doing a thing, and you're this tiny little mouse in a cage. And it's like they do like a zoom out to be like, oh shit, you're in Groznygrad now. And that's so fucking cool. Like, it feels very like a movie, like a classic action movie or a classic espionage movie of what's going on. And I fucking love it.
It's so good. It's very cinematic. And there's a few moments in the game that are like this. And I think these are like Kojima's big, splashy, I'm going to show off my film director skills or whatever
Right.
Definitely.
moments.
This is also where they show you that Snake is trapped, right? They show the tank rolling back over the manhole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're in now. You're in Groznygrad.
Yeah, so there's no
that's
turning
what's
back from
happening.
here.
Well, there each section of the game, there's a kind of gate that happens, right? Like when
Mhm.
in the beginning of this, once you climb up the ladder and you come out to get into the mountains area, you drop
Mhm.
off a ledge that is too high for you to climb back up on.
It's a good point.
And
Yeah.
that's sort of, I think, like there are these moments in the game where it's like, okay, no return here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I know I had a very different experience as far as how to get in and out. I knew exactly where to go just because I love this section of the game so much that I know this area so well. As far as the game is concerned, this is incredibly massive. There might be like 100 different items you can grab if you sort of follow the perimeter of Groznygrad. There's depots, there's tanks, there's there's the weapons lab, there's multiple buildings you can sort of get around. There's ventilation shafts, there's ladders, there's stuff everywhere. And what I do know is that you can be sneaky as fuck, and you can sort of cheat with one of the boxes you grab at Rasviet. You can
Yes.
sit in one of the trucks and it just says Weapons Lab East Wing, and you can just do that. And you can avoid most of Groznygrad just to get into the wing.
Okay, so
right
which
away.
truck?
It's a truck towards I guess as far as the map is concerned, it's the northeast. So
Okay.
there's trucks like on your way. There's like six little situations there, like trucks and tanks and things like that.
Mhm.
And it's on the left-hand side. You'll see like 2 trucks there. One of the trucks in there, you lay down, and I think you wait like 30 seconds, and a cutscene will just happen where a guard walks up and goes like, "Well, all right, I guess I gotta ship this box to the Weapons Lab East Wing."
Nice. I've never
And it's
triggered that. I might try that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's even other ways to get in too quickly. It's just that's the one that I know the most.
That's what you use the cardboard box for in the very first Metal Gear game, actually.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Ship
and you
yourself
use
around.
it a lot, and you have to know which box to put where.
Oh, yeah.
It's much more let me say this, it's much less forgiving than the latter games happen to be on
hmm
boxes and delivery systems.
It was very sophisticated for the time, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you I'm thinking of Ghost Babel, actually, now that I think of it. But
You
I
always
am
think of Ghost
so
Battle.
have either of you guys had the subsistence edition to play through Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2?
Yeah. It's on the HD
Yes.
collection.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct.
And we are going to cover those at some point, no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
They are-
Chronologically,
They're canon, baby.
As
So
they
we're doing it.
Fantastic.
All right, and I guess I'll make a mark here. I forgot to say that when you do properly take care of the Fury non-lethally, you do get his fire camo, which is
Ooh.
really helpful against flames. It's not really very good with camo index, but it is still a pretty dope looking camo, and it does help with flame. So at least that. So now I am already in the weapons lab. Did anybody do like a good pass? I did do a little bit of like perusing. I wanted to mess up. There's like food storage in there. I wanted to make sure I had all the SVD bullets I can get my hands on for just in case I needed it later. There's tons of grenades. There's like if you need serum and bandages, like there's almost everything here. And there's a munitions depot in the northeast corner as well that has like all kinds of guns and things you need moving forward. So as long as you guys felt good about that, have we gotten our way into the weapons lab? And how else did everybody else get in outside of me being cheaty?
Yeah, I mean, I have just one kind of play style at this point in the game. I made a note if you guys want to see.
Oh, I'm well aware of what I see here.
Basically,
Oh, man.
I just put on the Rykov mask and equipped the shotgun, and off to the races we go. Just running and clicking my way to where I need to be.
Yeah, not much infiltration as far as
Definitely
sneaky infiltration
infiltration.
just
No
knocking down doors,
stealth.
fucking shit up.
Yeah, more like, I guess, the Pain style of infiltration.
Sure.
nice.
Yeah, exactly.
There
A
you go.
battering
Just get in
ram
there.
to the door was
Right.
my approach.
And Tori, how about you? So you ready to get to the weapons lab? You feel good?
Yeah, I just want to say that Splitter,
Dun,
if Splitter is the camo you should be using for this, it's one of the best they have, and I'm
So
excited
good.
at this point to don it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you just got it, like in the not the previous screen, but you get it like right
Recently.
at the mountaintop. So
Yeah.
it's like a immediate reward for taking just a quick little right to
Mhm.
grab something before you go, which is the best.
Right.
My recollection of the Splitter camo is that it was when I played this game, I remember thinking like, oh man, imagine if like you played Metal Gear Solid 2, but you
Oh,
had the
yeah.
camo system.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Imagine like all the different types of camo you would have and like
Right.
the
Oh, that'd be
costumes
amazing.
and the disguises. And I was like thinking of like, holy shit, like Metal Gear Solid 2 would be really fun with a camo system in it.
Oh,
You almost
absolutely.
get it by collecting the BDUs, right? And if
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Kojima needing to realize a bit further, if it was the restraints of the PlayStation 2. But you can see how he's kind of dipping his toes into it a bit there, and we just get to see it full-fleshed in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, though. Splitter would have been perfect for probably the Verrazano Bridge,
Yeah.
I'm imagining.
Well, the camo
Big Shell
system is like...
has a good of them, yeah.
I'm always surprised by how sophisticated it is for a game that's this old, because
Right.
Yeah.
it really does make a huge difference, like 5%, in your camo index, and how you move while you're wearing the camo. If you're looking at the screen, you actually do blend in with the environment. It's
Right.
crazy. So it's not just a number or an integer in a program. It's also a visual thing that was like thought out and fleshed out really well.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, you know what? I guess now that you mentioned that, Metal Gear Solid 2 was on PS2 as well.
Mhm.
So it wasn't a matter of what the PS2 could do. It was just we're in a different setting.
Well, I mean,
It was-
Warren,
right.
you know dates and facts. Warren's a just the facts man.
I am a Just the Facts man. Yes.
But I believe that MGS3 came out like pretty near the end of the life cycle of the PS2.
Pretty much, yeah.
It feels
Pretty
like
close.
it, yeah.
Yeah, within maybe a year or two, as far as like launch for PS3.
I guess
Correct.
comparatively, we would say it's like the Ghost of Tsushima of the PS4.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty close.
The-
Probably maybe a little sooner
Probably the
than when the
last.
PS3 came out.
Yeah,
But
one of the last
uh,
big exclusive titles for that generation.
Sure. And it was probably, I believe it was 3 years difference between Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yep.
So some
So-
time to really think about and culminate and produce an effective camo system from the BDUs to, oh shit, we can do that with more than just one set of uniforms.
Right. And also, like, it's one thing to be like, look at all this cool new hardware we can use,
Mm-hmm.
right? Versus, okay, now how can we extrapolate every inch of gameplay out of this hardware because we know how to effectively use it across, it's been, we have so much time of research of how to use it. And you can tell that they did that too, because the way the camera works, because there's no more soliton radar, and they wanted to make the AI stronger. So if guards can see you from off screen, that's pretty fucking frustrating for a player. So they had to not only implement like a camo system, but also pay attention to the camera so that you could zoom out in the original release so that you could see what the hell was going on. So you could see why you got seen.
Solved.
So you could see
Why they
Solved.
synced you.
So it's very interesting how they did that, and that's why so quickly they brought out Subsistence and fixed the camera. So they even
Right.
learned from their own design. They were like, okay, this game can be so much better if we just realized what we were making the game. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yes.
it's very interesting with that.
Beautiful.
And it's definitely the best way to play it. Like the OG one it can be very frustrating if you don't know the game very well. So
right.
I totally agree with this. And Grozograd's a perfect example. There's so many places where you have no freaking clue of what the hell's going on. If you could only not control your camera, it'd be a fucking nightmare.
I had to go into first person a lot for this. One thing I want to say is that entering the weapons lab, I always get confused because I had one location in mind, and that is Groznygrad Northwest.
Right.
And that's because that's where you're supposed to run after you're breaking out of jail.
Yep.
So I
Pretty
always accidentally go there first, realize I done fucked up, and then have to figure out where the fuck I'm supposed to go from there.
Yep.
Well, I will say, to your point, Warren, about like them changing their own thing. I think it was Blue Point, right, who worked on this?
Yes.
The remake. Well, Subsistence was where they added in the camera change. I believe.
Correct. So the MGS3 remake was Blue Point.
Blue
Correct.
Point. So all they did was port it. They didn't add that into the game. It was in.
No, it was a part of Subsistence from Konami.
All right. Yeah.
But really, Koji Pro.
Yeah.
Really.
All right.
Koji
I'll
Pro.
Konami
I'll
didn't give a
allow Kojima to take credit for this good thing in the game.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the time we want to give Kojima credit.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we actually want to celebrate why he's doing it. It can get frustrating later because we can look back on all of this and be like, what the fuck, man? Like, Jesus, like, I get you're good at this, but you could have been, you know, the Steven Spielberg of video games, not the Stanley Kubrick, where like 50% of you think you're a genius and the other 50% doesn't understand half the shit you're making. You know, where Spielberg just makes almost all good stuff and then also has some showstoppers.
We may have some disagreements there.
I'm just saying the public notice. I'm not saying I have a certain feeling that may be different than anybody else's in this room. I'm just saying that Kubrick, to film nerds, is one of the best directors of our time and basically justify everything that he did in the movie because he wanted to, not because he made a continuity error or something.
Okay, sure. Okay, fair.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, well, for his sake.
Far be it from me to read a man's intentions in his own heart.
Fair point.
But I believe that Kojima aspires in a weird sense, like the kind of commercial success that a Spielberg would be, but more of
with his own brand,
right? But more of a reverence that one would have for like a David Lynch,
right?
Okay,
agreed.
Sure.
That's
or
like,
a Kubrick.
He's the weird, kooky guy,
honestly.
and he does some strange stuff, but we all love it.
Right. That is
Everybody
true.
who loves it really loves it. Otherwise, they just seem not to get it. It seems
he's trying to get paid. That's all.
Yeah.
He's trying to get paid. He's trying to get his bag, trying to get stacks.
We should talk about this on a PC or something. The compromise between making the art you want to make and making it so that it can be consumed.
There are so many ways that we could tackle that issue. Jesus.
I'm just saying there's
no kidding. Especially
plenty of opportunity.
The overall concept too of like good art comes from restriction, like that piece. There's if you just throw the wallet at somebody, like you get Metal Gear Solid 4. You know what I mean?
Or Death Stranding.
Or Death Stranding, right? That's true. So
I mean, we could talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we'll tackle that. Might be a good PC topic, or even maybe an off-season thing we just want to bring to the table because that could be super fun to talk about. But
a PC topic.
So now,
at what point does art become self-indulgent?
Exactly.
Yes.
So now we are at the weapons lab of Groznygrad.
Yeah, now, I got in self-indulgence.
Yeah,
here's a whole monument to it.
I found myself on the East Wing, obviously because of the truck dropping me off, and I was actually able to find my way to the staircase that's down there. I had my SIG spray out, and I did throw on the scientist get up.
Okay.
Not because it would get me out of trouble, but it gave me like 2 extra seconds before anybody like knew I was Snake. They would do like the quick 1 second to look at you to see who you are, and I would just SIG spray the crap out of him, and then just kick it moving. And I know Rydenovich, just because I've played the game so much, you get right by the stairs, you SIG spray the guy that's kind of playing guard up at the top, and as soon as he walks out of the library, he notices the guy's passed out and goes like, you okay? And he goes to walk over, and I can grip him up right there, and I walk him right into the locker room. I don't have to wait for him to get to the locker room.
I just want to watch you play sometime.
Because
it would be much more exciting than watching me play.
And that's the thing that's crazy is there's like maybe like we've talked about this before, and it's going to be a reoccurring thing because I'm not good at this game.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of sections of this game that should feel like I know what I'm doing and I should be really good at it. And like I said, I struggled with the end. I struggled with the fear until I cracked the code or whatever. This, like, there's some sections where I just know, like I said, Groznygrad, it is like my favorite section. So I figured out how to run through it in 20 minutes or, explore the whole thing and do all this stuff. So at least it's fun. It also, helps. We've talked about this in the character focus episodes. I do have like a decent timely reference of like maps drawn in the guides. I have guides for every single mainline Metal Gear, like when the game, like the OG guide for Snake Eater in front of me right now to help me make sure I'm not missing any fun tidbits of the game. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, I want to do this, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll, maybe we'll stream some past games as we move forward. But so yeah, I brought him right in, and I will say we'll talk about your experiences. I never noticed. I don't know why. I guess it wasn't something I was paying attention to. But if you're playing the PS3 one, does he have like he's got the little Speedo on, right? We know that, but he's got like it looks like the Smash Brothers like S, the Super Smash Brothers S, like on his
it's a little lightning
Speedo
bolt.
there. It's a lightning ball, right? But it looks like a little bit like an S. I don't know why.
As if he belongs to a certain someone.
That's so
Yeah,
gross.
it looks like the S on that item you pick up that lets you do the Metroid spinny jump.
Right. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. So,
Screw
but
attack.
yeah, so
That's it. Screw attack.
screw attack. Screw attack. That's literally what it is. And yeah, he does screw an attack. So that's perfect.
Oh, nice.
God. Is that what Volgan does his screw attack?
Is that what they're
time?
Is that what they're trying to reference here?
That was not a. That was.
Oh.
I should have filtered that.
I always just assumed it
came
was
out way
because
faster than it should have.
this man belongs to Volgan, but there's another level to this.
Yeah.
There are layers to this cake.
So,
Ew.
how
Ugh.
did you guys find your way to getting Revengeance?
Well, I kind of just murdered everybody because the surprising thing is when the violence starts,
Don't stop.
Rydanovich will just go hide in the bathroom.
Right.
Oh,
He's a coward.
what a pansy.
He is. He's a coward. He's a lover, not a fighter. You know that.
Correct.
We know that.
Definitely know that about him.
Volgan's the power violence in that relationship dynamic.
He's the top. Volgan's obviously the
There's
top.
no question. Obvi. But anyway, yeah, so he'll go hide in the bathroom and then you can just sneak up on him at that point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I've never snuck up on him in the bathroom. That's good to know.
yeah. Well,
So you just hang out.
if you're
hang
going
out
to
in the
sneak
locker
up
room
on
for him.
someone, generally do it in the bathroom.
Thank
when
you,
they're
Chris,
most
for those
vulnerable.
tips.
So they're most vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. Especially with a shotgun, like you got them dead to rights in a bathroom.
Yeah.
So what about you, Tori? How did it go for you? Did you just sort of hang out and wait for him in the locker room?
Actually, as I entered this building, I was already on alert, unfortunately. So, yeah, I just kind of ran right up the stairs and waited for a scientist to come through, as they do, because when you're on alert and the alarm has been signaled, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists are running all over the fucking place. Like they don't know what's going on. So they run through any door that they're by. And if you stand at the right one, you can get to the lockers. So
Nice.
I just waited for them to open the door and conveniently placed myself in the locker
It's so
that
funny
would
how
hide
they
me.
just let you in. Like even Chris did that. He like knocked on the door at the lab.
Yeah.
They just walked out and he just shot the guy. Like, it's so good.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
you
God,
just
that's
if you
so
can just
funny.
let yourself in there. I just hid in a locker until the caution expired and then
Sure.
waited for Rykov to come. If you wait long enough, Rykov will just come on in and you can kind of walk around to the opposite side of the lockers that he's on and sneak up on him. So
Nice. I mean, I think that's arguably how it's probably designed, is like find your way in and just wait for him. Like, I
mhm.
guess again, bathroom or locker room is like where everybody has to go eventually, right?
Right.
Like either you're leaving or you have to go. Those are the two things you like can't avoid when you're
Mhm.
working. So we knock him out. We see his screw attack symbol and we throw him in a locker and we don our mask, we don our outfit, which we just got. And I gotta say, I laughed really hard because it looks really funny when you are running in the Rydanovich outfit, because you're running like Snake and you're not,
Yeah.
nobody cares. You're not acting like you're in proper uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're walking, he walks with
yeah.
a hunch.
Well,
It's so fun. Yeah, he has like that like weird sneaking strut.
Yeah.
I almost
that he has to
expected
do.
him to, like, when I was doing a roll, to do a flip instead to control more like Raiden did.
Sure. I almost thought that too. That's actually a good call.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't.
It's like putting a Raiden skin on Snake,
Right.
basically.
Right. And I gotta say too, I didn't need to do it, but anytime the opportunity arises, I suck at saluting the guards when you're supposed to like hide from them and like just do a salute. I suck at doing it timely. Like when they do the salute, I'm supposed to do it like right after, and they either do it before or I accidentally hit them with my arm or something. It never goes well at all. So
Awesome.
I do my best to just run and flip my way to the door almost as fast as possible.
What happens if you get spotted? Is there like a shootout or?
I would think they just say that something's up with you. I don't think you can actually get caught in that section as long as you're in that area.
Eva makes it a point to say you can so much as punch a guard, and Snake's like, what? She's like, yeah, I guess that's just the kind of guy he is.
And basically because, one, he's known for that, which you'll learn about in the Baddies episode, and two, no one's gonna fucking step to the guy that's Volgan's, B. Like, that's his
Volgan's bottom.
That's what he is. So like, if you do anything to get in his way,
did you just censor the word bitch?
No.
Volgan's bitch.
I was just trying to give it more than, you choose your own adventure at that point by calling him a bitch.
He's sorry, Rykov is Volgan's bitch.
Yeah,
bottom
and also
bitch.
to learn that he was supposed to be going to his chambers anyway. Like, we learned that in the cutscene we're getting to.
I heard somewhere that bottom bitch is a term of respect.
Yes, according to South Park and Butters. If you're Butters' bottom bitch, you are his. Like, you're in a really good spot if you're someone's bottom bitch. So congrats to Rykov.
That's Rykov, man.
Appreciate it, bud. And so we use that. We get in, we infiltrate the area we're trying to get to as far as the northeast and through the weapons lab. And we overhear Sokolov having a conversation with someone, and we recognize the voice. So we learn that it's Tatiana, Eva, and she's getting the plans for the Shagohod from him, and he has the understanding that she works for Khrushchev, which is just a third layer of what's going on. And now we're learning, like, so Tatiana wasn't Sokolov's woman, right? It was the other way around. So there's like another added layer, and like, how is Eva like surviving by like she's like crossing everyone?
She's just really good at lying, man. She has at first she has Volgan and Ocelot at least thinking that she's Sokolov's woman, right? And then not Ocelot, Volgan is like, all right, well, you can entertain me for a while. So then she's in with Volgan, right? But she's still able to keep Snake on the hook enough to advance him so that she can further position herself advantageously, because you need Snake to be able to take down these guys for her to have a chance at ending this whole thing with Volgan, right? So she's relying on him to take out these guys. He's relying on her to even get to these guys.
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
really
true.
impressive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's that's exactly, it's so impressive. And again, I love that they use it to their advantage, right? So he brings up Major Zero again, that they're talking about how things are going. You learn all about how he gets involved. So now Snake is finally caught up, like, oh, okay, now we get Eva is Tatiana, yada yada, So now we're in the same boat, because he's like hiding behind the boxes or whatever, and he can like see that it's her when he's hiding.
But he still doesn't quite register that, because when he goes in to talk to Sokolov,
you're right. It's coming up that this is right. Yes. It's not there yet. You're absolutely right. Damn.
He's pretty thick through this part, honestly, which may be more of I don't know, a celebration of how great Eva is. Yeah,
she's a great spy, man. She really is. So as she leaves, Snake walks in, and he starts to have his little chat with Sokolov. Mm-hmm. And what I do love is we learn phase 2 is complete. We get basically the entire catch up of everything of the Shagohod, how it was designed. I love how it's the other end of the Granin talk, where basically I had the big picture plan, but they took all the money because the Shagohod can be like done now. Like, this is like the shorter, this isn't the full solution, but it can be made quicker. And I do love they go back, and I had to make a note that ICBMs, because he says it like 6 times, and that stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. And I never knew that for a very long time. But again, you learn that Sokolov was never with Tatiana. I never thought they were shipping. Never thought that.
Stopping.
But I also love, like, it's kind of funny. Like, when they get to it, it goes to like, when I was a little boy, I always wanted to make rockets. And it's like, yeah, we get it.
Well, no,
I
I
wanted
think
to make them for good.
this part is important, I think, because this is not the only media, I guess you could say, I consumed that delivered this message that science is ultimately the goal for science is to accomplish good, but it is often put into the wrong hands, right? At this point, I'm thinking of Cat's Cradle and Ice Nine. And if you haven't read that book by Kurt Vonnegut, you really, really ought to, because it's basically a great descriptor for this moment where Volgan is like, I just, like you said, Warren, I just want to make rockets. And now my creations are used to wipe people out, basically.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
you kind of have to empathize for him in this moment, because I'm sure the prospect of being a scientist who works on rockets is amazing and something a lot of little boys dream of doing when they grow up. And then being caught in the position that Sokolov is, where you have on the opposite end of the spectrum Granin, who's like, forget this motherfucker, he built a tinker toy compared to what I've got going on. It's just, I always thought these two scenes were really interesting to have juxtaposed.
Sure. And then Volgan walks on in, and he recognizes that Ivan is there. And he's a little confused, like, why aren't you in my chambers, And his way of seeing what's going on is he walks right over to him and just does the old dick grab to see if it's a doppelganger of your male lover.
Like you do.
And he does it twice.
Warren, you do that, right? That's a thing you do, Chris. That's a thing you do, right?
Well, maybe that's their intimate greeting with each other.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Like
we all have our things,
Have you been compromised?
It's not a daily thing, but
or maybe
actually
every once in a while we'll, do a classic dick grab just to keep me on my toes.
Since you mentioned that, Chris, that's actually a really good like secret handshake if you think about it. Like, who thinks to grab the other's dick as a secret handshake?
Also, he could be like, it feels different. This is an imposter.
That's what I always thought, because of the way he pulls it away and looks at his hand so confused, like, what the fuck? This is not the
Ivan's
digital
dick.
handprint of Ivan's
It's way too big.
testicles, right?
He has one testicle. There's so many ways. This is the worst. But he's such a weirdo. But he does realize that it's obviously not Ivan. And what I do love is he starts like beating the crap out of Snake, and it's a whole thing. And then the boss comes in like a fucking G, like she does, and she's like doing her thing, and she like, stay out of this, and knocks over fucking Volgan, and Snake tries to defend himself. She fucks him up, throws him too. There's just, 3 dudes just like sprawled out on the floor, and the boss is just sort of like, God damn it. Like, I'm so tired of doing this
king
shit.
of the hill.
She's so good.
Queen of the
I
hill.
love it.
Oh, yeah. And I keep forgetting that Volgan kneecaps fucking Sokolov here. Like when he talks, he goes pop, pop, and just knocks him right in his knees.
That's the order. Volgan kneecaps Sokolov twice, right? He lays down, and then the boss comes in and is like, what is this fairy disguise? And puts him on the ground, right? And then Volgan, for whatever reason, tries to get in on this, and she's like, nuh-uh, this is obviously not for you, and puts him on the ground. And then the camera just pans out to her standing there in her like combat stance, and every other male in the room just like groaning and writhing on the floor.
And then he gets
glorious.
up and goes like, this is for Ivan. And he fucking brutally beats Snake. Holy shit. When he headbutts him, the fucking crack noises, like how many times he hits him, there's like spray and fucking blood and saliva. There's shit everywhere.
Shit is
and
it's your Tarantino shit.
Fucking going to town. I don't understand. Like, it's a real question for me, is how the fuck is Snake not dead at this point? Like,
because he's Snake. He's got his accolades leading up to this.
It's
we already talked about that.
I just couldn't believe it. And again, we learned that Volgan was like a boxer. So like, he's well trained. Like, he's not just some big old angry dude. Like, he's well trained to like maximize the punishment of what's going on.
Plus he's got electricity, so we can add that to it.
Yeah, and we learn 10 million volts running through his body. 10 million! I know amps are where it gets dangerous, not voltage, but 10,000 volts fucking sucks. That's like a real problem. But yeah, so anyway, the boss goes in and explains CQC real quick to be like, Vulcan, get the fuck out. Like, I got this. And then she does like a walk away because she's tired of all the bullshit going on. And is this where she has like a little one-off with Ocelot, or is this after the torture scene?
No, it's in the middle of the torture scene because Vulcan at this point makes it clear he's gonna have his fucking boxing session on Snake.
Right.
And she decides she can't take it anymore. So she walks to the door opens, and you see Ocelot there, and she pauses, neither making eye contact with Ocelot nor looking back at what's happening to Snake. She just kind of averts her gaze. And then they have a moment, and you see Ocelot just kind of looking at her without any expression on his face, really. He's just kind of taking in this moment.
Yeah.
And it just feels, I don't know, to me it feels like a real moment of recognition between the boss and Ocelot, which I could be reading into because we know what their relationship is. But I don't know. I always thought this moment was kind of poignant.
Right. Yeah. We know something they don't pretty much, but they still have that connection.
Right.
In some way. Right. Papa's got a brand new bag, and it's not.
What?
So I love that it goes to a blank screen here.
Mm-hmm.
Solid black, and just the subtitles come up, and you can tell that it's Vulcan probably ripping into Sokolov. And eventually you just sort of hear like a pop, and Sokolov is dead. And I made a note in my notes here. I was like, I forgot that Sokolov dies right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I put, but does he?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
So
as far as you know, he dies right here.
Vulcan is a sick little puppy. He's a creep. And we don't know this yet, but he's gesturing over to Snake, and he's checking out his body. He's saying like that. He's like, oh, like a newborn baby. Like he's just such a fucking
yucky.
He's just such a weirdo. And he does his best Bond villain act ever, right? Tells him about the 10 million volts, that it's like that's still an amazingly high number. He's beating the fuck out of him. He goes into all the shit about everything. Like, it's such a great torture scene. And then we learn, all about the Philosopher's Legacy. We learn about where he keeps it. Like, he literally does like you'll never find it in my secret vault. Here's the password. And like, he basically just fucking says everything. And I guess he's an idiot. Like, he doesn't fucking care. He thinks it's like super safe and secure.
We'll get to that later. Definitely.
Yeah, but like in a Telltale game, it's like Eva will always remember this.
Yeah.
Well, Eva's not the only one.
Yeah, true. So how do we feel about... Actually, I like that you said that because of everybody that's in the room in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Everybody else in the room but Vulcan, all for different motives, want that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And everybody's on a different side, too.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Holy shit. Well,
I guess
that was really cool.
Except for...
Well, don't say it.
That's arguable.
You, for the time being, they may be on the same side, but the end goal is not the same. So this scene is fucking cool, man. He finds the transmitter in him, and the boss like owns it and is basically like, I put it in there because I wanted the Cobras to have the drop on him. And he's like, well, how did he get rid of them then? Like, it's like a whole thing. And I love the tension in this scene. And if you guys will bear with me.
Cut out his eyes. I don't like those blue eyes of his. There's nothing more important to a soldier than his eyes. You made him a soldier, and now you will unmake him. Yes, it'll make for a touching display. He's all yours. Do it!
She gives a gesture to Eva, and Eva's like, don't do it. Don't do it. And she goes over, and she pulls out her dope-ass knife, right? And we all know that, Big Boss has an eye patch. moving forward after this game, and technically in some of the promo of this game. So we're all thinking it like, yeah, fuck, she's gonna cut out his eye, right? Am I the only one that truly felt that way? Like, I was like, fuck, this is really gonna fucking happen right now?
Yeah.
Did you guys think that? Am I the only one?
No, I mean, it
Oh,
was
definitely.
That's how Snake looked on the cover of the box, I believe. Yeah, is
Right.
the eye patch. And
the only thing I'll say though is I was like, it's the wrong eye. She's going after his left eye, and the eye patch is on the right eye.
See, I never even had the capacity to think that. I was just like, oh shit, this is it, right?
Yeah.
I was just so invested in this moment because it's really tense. You get a bunch of different shots. You get the boss staring at Jack, or Snake staring at the boss, and then you get each of the reactions of everybody else, right?
Right. And the knife is right there. The quiver, like you can hear him like breathing, like just accepting it almost.
Yeah, the quiver, his whole lower jaw is shivering at this point.
It's amazing. And then the music is so good. The sound, like, I just love every little piece of it. And you can tell everybody in the room is like, what the fuck is going to happen right now?
mm-hmm.
And of course, Eva stops her. So it doesn't happen. Excuse me. Tatiana stops her. So, so Snake doesn't get his eye stabbed out. So, okay, good. I guess we're doing great. So
Not so fast,
and then,
Warren.
Yeah, exactly. So Ocelot comes up and tries to sort of like tough talk what's going on here, and he's trying to figure out Snake, and he's gonna pull his, he's got the one bullet, he's gonna do his little gun thing. He's super pervy with Tatiana. He's like trying to get it. He tries to grab her again because he thinks she's the spy, because she stopped him from the boss doing her thing. And Volgan's just a fucking perv. Like, want to take her for a spin. Like, he's just such a fucking perv. But then in the struggle, Ocelot is doing his thing to, I guess, sort of maybe get some information or best Snake, like whatever he's trying to get out of it. And he fires off a random shot while Snake is trying to break out with Eva, and Ocelot fires a shot, and it goes right through the side of Snake's face, thus rendering his right eye useless. And fuck, like, this scene is so good. So now everything is done, right? Boss goes up, leans in, and I think I'm gonna let Tori take this one, but I love this like little moment that they have. And what does the boss say to Snake?
Oh man, this part is really chilling because you have the chance to hold down R1 at this point, right? And see the sorrow in the background, giving you I'm pretty sure at this point that's the radio frequency, 144.75.
I think it's 7.5, yeah.
Right? And while you're trying to pay attention to that, you've also got the boss staring at you, and it's silent, and she just looks you hard in the eyes and holds it there for a second and just says, "Run!" Like, really intensely. You know what I mean? Like, it's
so good.
It's mom saying, you better get the fuck out of here if you want to live. You know what I mean? And it's just, every time I've played that recently, it gives me a little bit of the goosebumps. It's just so serious. And like, at that point too, pretty sure she takes the single action army and she shoots you in the thigh with it. Before or after she says that? I think it's before. She shoots you in the thigh with it, and then she stares at you cold in the eye and says, "Run." And that's
so
how you
good.
leave this cutscene, basically, right?
Yeah, because, so then Eva leans in and kind of says, like, I've prepared an escape for you in the sewers of Groznygrad. Meet me here. I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
obviously she's involved. But yeah, it's just very interesting how just like that entire dynamic, like this scene just has so many crucial characters to, I guess, the overarching story of this game, not just this moment that we learn later with everybody involved in this. So you have Tatiana, you have the boss, you have Ocelot and Snake in the room, because Volgan's like, that was refreshing or something, like when
Yeah, and he just
he gets
fucks
shot
off.
and he's like, because the boss is like, you satisfied now? You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of Dodge. It's just very, it's just such a weird fucking moment, but such a great scene, and I do love it.
Agreed, because up to this point, you don't know. You think Boss is totally defected. She's not on your side. She's never going to have a moment of understanding with you again because of the way that you've encountered her up to this point. And then suddenly she's telling you to run, and she's handing you the single action army she just shot you with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a major turning point.
Oh yeah, and you're starting to learn like what the fuck, like what is actually going on between you and her motivations and what's happening here, because clearly she's helping you now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like clearly she doesn't want Volgan to have his way with you like he would anyone else in this circumstance. So now we are still captured. Obviously, Eva can't cut us up and get us out of there. So we wake up in a jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a rather talkative and friendly guard sitting there. And
Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
So we had talked about this before. I have done the Johnny scene before, but I did not do it during this playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to go into it a little bit,
Sure.
just kind of talk about the Johnny scene and a little bit of what's going on. Basically, I was stabbing rats and eating and doing my best. So yeah, feel free. Catch me up, because I did not get to do the Johnny scene.
Chris,
Well-
since you saw it most recently.
Yeah, so the Johnny scene is basically if you throw the food back that he gives you, the guard, into the hallway through the door 3 times, then he will come over and be like, oh, well, I guess you're not such a bad guy after all. And then he starts talking to you, is telling you like, oh, well, I don't even understand why we have to have this war or this Cold Wars. We used to be allies, you know.
Right.
I guess referring to World War II. And then he's like, you know, I even came from America. And he has like a kid and a wife back home, he said.
Mm-hmm. And then he
Um,
shows you their picture.
Yep. So, and that's like Johnny 2.0. And he says that all the firstborn sons in his family are named Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
For like
That's so
generation
cute.
after generation.
And you know from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 that he carries on that tradition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that picture too, Chris, you get another moment to trigger the R1
Mhm.
perspective.
Yeah, so you see that codec number 144.75, and I called it and it said no response.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When did you call it?
Immediately after that cutscene.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess I can understand why, because if he's still strutting around and patrolling around the cell, it would not be an opportune time to call that frequency. You still have to wait for him to make an exit before you can feel really comfortable in calling that frequency.
Mm.
Because what you're waiting for is something that, in my experience, was actually triggered before you feed him the 3 times. And I knew this going in because I wanted to trigger it. But if you're just really not understanding how to get out there, out of the jail cell, and you hadn't seen the Sorrow's little message for you in the previous cutscenes, this is another chance for you to understand a way to get out. So if you feed your food that Johnny is making available to you to him, if you throw it back out there to him 3 times, then he'll show you the picture of his family with that frequency. And if you wait for him, I think you have to feed him one more time, honestly, or you just have to wait for enough time to pass. But eventually he will run to the bathroom again.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's the time to use the 144.75 frequency.
So I just wasn't being patient enough, I guess.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and I did the cheapy Snake is dead. Fake death pill.
Oh.
Yeah, that's eventually how I got out of there. I would
Yeah.
though. I want to touch for a moment, if I could. I know we're pretty deep into this, but we're near the end.
Yeah.
And I would like to talk about repetition in Metal Gear because you have this torture sequence that we just got out of, and that's very obviously a repetition of Metal Gear Solid. And then you have this jail scene, which is very obviously a repetition of that jail scene from 1.
Or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the catch-up.
Right.
But the games kind of like have this pattern to them, right? It's like a Mega Man game. You advance your progress towards the end by defeating these bosses, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very old school in that way, which is pretty interesting. But it also has like a cinematic thing too, where like you think of a big criticism of the Disney Star Wars when it was reboot. It's like, oh, well, this is just A New Hope, but with different characters, right?
Right.
So it's interesting to me that we regard Metal Gear Solid 3 as this very great game. It's like a tribute to Metal Gear and how good it is as a series. But if you apply it in a different context, you get this very negative reaction out of it.
Well, yeah, because in a strictly formulaic sense, it's no different than 1 or 2, really. Right. You have your big boss battles that are all kind of structured the same way, but in a sense of story and in a sense of new mechanics of gameplay, it kind of did break the mold. So I can see why, in a lot of ways, you have people favoriting Metal Gear Solid 2 or Metal Gear Solid 3 or even Metal Gear Solid 4, because that even introduces a new level of gameplay. Well, and on to 5 even. I mean, you can have this argument about every new installment. Each one improves in some way, but it'll never capture all of what I think we in this community specifically consider to be some of the key dynamics of a really great game.
And I think if these games had parallels, you know, Metal Gear Solid would be Final Fantasy VII, right? The classic that everybody loves. Metal Gear Solid 2 is like Final Fantasy VIII, which still has a very hardcore fan base, but is very often misunderstood, I think. And then 9 and Metal Gear Solid 3. And 9 is just a return to like the classic formula. It's bringing back every aspect of Metal Gear through its rich history going back to the Nintendo. And that's what 9 did as well for Final Fantasy. You know,
it's interesting how you put it that way.
To like, this is the last chapter of this era of this series.
I like that. I never thought about 7, 8, and 9 that way. I definitely was prepared when we get to like the wrap up of the extreme parallels between this and the first game.
Yeah.
Like even story beats.
Oh yeah, we got to go real deep into that, don't we?
Yeah, because I think it is like a 10-minute, just straight up. I could present like, let's get a PowerPoint out here and let me just go through each of the parallels, like even when it happens in the game. So we all got out of the jail pretty straightforward, I would assume, which was great. No real struggle other than at least Chris got his way out with the pill. So 2 things you can do is obviously you can find some stuff, even though you're a quote unquote naked snake, as far as you don't have much. But if you're smart, you can get SIG gas spray here, and you can use that to help defend yourself. Or what I did is there's a cardboard box you can grab out in Grozny Grad once you're out of the detention center, and you can use that to hide as well. Now, I don't know how you guys, I checked some of the notes. I'm telling you right now, I didn't care if it took me 25 minutes. I fucking hid in every goddamn corner, under a tank, everywhere. I did not want to get caught in this moment because I hate like having nothing to I just have to run.
Yeah.
And I had a couple times like the dogs would find me. Yeah, the dogs would find me, but they would only bark, so the guards would be drawn to the attention of the dog, not me. So I was able to... That's one of
2 methods for sure.
Yeah. And it took me a while, but like I said, I think I had a guy almost catch me, and I crawled back under the tank, and he went over there, and I just ran around him like, Jesus Christ, like, I just got to get out of here. But I love it. And This is like a really, again, it's like backtracking, but it's not. Like, it's really fucking cool. And the intent is to get to the sewers. So how did everybody else do with getting to the actual like sewer hatch?
Well, like I said before, I knew exactly where to go to get there. So it was only a matter of taking out whoever was in my way. So that was pretty much the opposite of your experience there, Warren.
Yeah.
I would
I know Groznygrad really well, so that's like
I had I feel
so confident.
Well, and I knew where to go. I knew where my destination was, so I just looked on the map and figured out how to get there. And I had a fork equipped pretty much the whole time.
And you can kill people with forks. You definitely
Although
can.
I will say I never killed a dog. I kicked and knocked out dogs. That's it.
Hey, it worked though. I'm proud of you. And what about you, Chris?
Thank you.
How'd it go for you?
Well, I really struggled here, and I got to tell you, I kind of just made it across the finish line in caution mode.
Sure.
Like doing a roll, dive, whatever you call it, into that gate, under the pipes, and yeah.
Sure.
Because you're stuck here in this situation, and all you have is a pistol with no ammo in it at first,
right.
And then you have the cigarettes, or at least in my case, in Tori's case, we had the cigarettes,
right?
And the cigarettes, you can't get it to go off quick enough because you have no camo or anything before the guards recognize you. They recognize you straight up because you're naked.
Yeah, you're a shirtless man with camo on.
Yeah,
the camo pants on.
It's funny that like his code name is Naked Snake because naked is the worst camo situation to be
Absolutely.
in, right?
Oh, it is the worst. And it's like bad for your stamina. It's bad for everything.
Yeah, you can catch a cold. I caught a cold here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I caught a cold. What? Because I was like trying to evade and run away from the guards, and like the guys with the shields kept coming at me. So I was just throwing. All I had was smoke grenades, and I was throwing smoke grenades and like running past them to get through them. But
it works. It works.
When you're naked, you know, you're exposed, and it was at night and it was cold. So I guess I just caught a cold, and I kept sneezing, and I didn't have any cold medicine. So it kept alerting the guards.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
that's amazing.
I got to a point where I found some ammo, and I was able to take out everybody by hiding under the tanks. But eventually I ran out of ammo again, and I was like, fuck this. I just got to run for it. So I like threw out some smoke grenades on both ends. They went off, and it was enough for me to like just run past, and dogs were chasing me, and I jumped and I dived under. And I got to tell you, having done that, it made a lot more sense that there were dogs chasing me in the next section when we get there.
Yeah.
But
so
that does make sense.
So we're climbing down to get into the sewers, and you get a coda call. And Eva basically, she goes like, "Hey, you're not in the sewers yet, are you?" And you're like, "I just got here." She's like, well, they're closed off, so our escape is totally fucked, my dude. So we're gonna have to figure something out." So, but I do like it. She's like, just head north. If you can get there, you can get away, but you have to move like as fast as you can. And this is, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward area, but I do love that you can, like, there's ways to go from the left and the right of the actual like sewer canals where you could like hide and tuck in on the right hand side and then sneak back to the main tunnel, or maybe leave the left hand side and come back in. So you can dodge pretty effectively. So if like a dog finds you, but you can slide under, they'll just bark. They won't know where you technically are if you're fast enough to get away. They might notice you're there, and the guards won't raise alert or anything because they don't actually know. They just know the dog's barking. Did anybody else like have any like real struggles with this? It can be very annoying because it is incredibly linear, and you can't just walk straight up the tunnel. Like you have to go left or right to eventually get there. But you can use multiple, like each path almost, I think, works on both sides, except the last one you have to go through the right-hand side where the guards are. But did anybody struggle with getting to the end of this tunnel or anything?
No.
Nope.
Good.
It's pretty straightforward, really.
Smoke grenades are good for the dogs.
Oh, sure. That's a good point.
I never even made it that far. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
I just kind of kicked my way through them. Sorry, PETA.
I do have a question about this cutscene after we get through that, though.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about. So we are running to the end of the tunnel, and we're seeing dogs chasing us. We're seeing guards are coming up, and everybody walks up, and basically it's the fugitive, and Ocelot walks up and is calling you out. Having a conversation with you about everything that's going on here, and talk it out, Chris, because I think we're gonna have similar questions here.
Well, in my opinion, Kojima took a scene from Mission Impossible and hit copy, and then went over to the video game and hit paste. Right here.
What Mission Impossible, the TV show?
I think the movie, right? There's a sewer scene. Am I dreaming?
I'm
this?
sure there is. I know there's a sewer scene or I guess a ventilation scene in The Fifth Element, but that's just wishful thinking on my part.
I mean, there's an awesome CIA scene where he's breaking in through the vents. I'm trying to think if there is one in Mission Impossible. The only one that comes to mind to me is The Fugitive, when it's Harrison Ford at the end and he's saying, "I didn't kill my wife," and Tommy Lee Jones is like, "I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to get you." And he goes, "Oh my God, he Peter Pan right off." Like, I remember that scene. I don't know if I can think of a Mission Impossible one. I'm not like an expert of those movies, but I know them well enough. I don't know if I can think of one, especially before 2004, because there was only 2 of them at that point. The third one didn't come out till I think 05 or 06, maybe 07.
Yeah, I distinctly remember. I think my parents took me to see this awful movie or something. I don't know that was awful, but I was really young and very uninterested in this movie. And I fell asleep, and I woke up, and there was like Tom Cruise standing in like the end of a sewer, and there was like guards chasing him, and it was like a big impossible fall to the bottom, and there was a helicopter. They were like, "We have you surrounded," and then he just like jumped, and then I fell back asleep. That
sounds very suspiciously like The Fifth Element, something we might cover in a PC later.
Yeah, she does do that too. It's just not it's like a trash tunnel. But yeah, I wish I knew it, man. I wish I could help you with that. I can't think of it.
I'm going to research this. Maybe I'm dreaming it or something.
I can totally give you The Fifth Element scene that's just like that. I mean, it's pretty much...
Maybe it was The Fifth Element.
Move for move.
Misremembering.
I mean, I don't know
your
in what
Tom
world.
Cruise is actually Mila Jovovich. Sorry.
Yeah, in bright orange hair.
I just remember it was the early 90s, and I was not involved with this movie. So
it still tracks.
We'll have to figure it out, because I love the first Mission Impossible, and I don't think there's a sewer scene in there. But either way, so this scene is pretty dope. What I still am trying to figure out is everything that has to do with Ocelot and this. He's got the bullet on his necklace. He wants to put that in the gun, right? And we know what this bullet, I guess, is later, because how the game ends. But the thing about it is I just don't understand what tension is there for Ocelot to do this, other than misdirection for us as being gamers of like, oh shit, he could get shot. Like, why isn't there bullets in the gun already?
You
know what I mean?
I have an answer to this, and maybe it's not acceptable by all, but I actually applauded this scene because I love Ocelot's commitment to besting Snake here. At this point, to my count, he's been bested by Snake twice, and his ego is bruised. And he just and you know him, he's leaving his bullets to chance. He's done this with Ocelot, and he's done this with, well, I guess it's just... I'm sorry, he is Ocelot. He's done this with Sokolov, right? At this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's the only one that he's done this with, I think. But at this point, he's established, he likes to rely on chance when he can. And I think for whatever reason, he wants to rely on chance with Snake because he knows that he can learn from Snake. So taking a cheap shot at him as he's falling down a waterfall, essentially.
Yeah, I guess he's like, I've been waiting for this and nobody interfere. Like, I don't know. It just...
Well, yeah, because if somebody just shoots him before he gets to have his little game of chance, his little gamble. Really, what it comes down to is Ocelot is a gambling addict.
Right. But what we learn later, I guess, is like, was this to make sure Snake lives?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's it for him. Maybe he just wants to know if he could get the upper hand on Snake, and by feeding this, what we know is a blank into it, he would know without affecting the mission. You know what I mean? If we really, really want to read into it, that could be an explanation. But I prefer to think of this as, at this point, Ocelot is just pissed off. He's gotten bested by this dude. So he's saving the bullet that was ejected, that was attempted to be ejected manually out of his gun when he fucked up.
Right.
In my mind, it was always that same bullet that misfired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And he saved that to feed into his gun. But of course, it would be a different bullet, so that doesn't really track.
That's it's just, I get the motif. I just don't know if I get the literal motivations of Ocelot in this scene, other than to preserve the life of Snake to get. But again, I don't think he expected him to dive off either.
No,
I don't know.
think
like
he wanted to have his showdown with Snake. He wanted to have his little dramatic moment where he came out on top. I think that's 100% his motivation. Where his strategy came in, I don't think was perfectly thought out.
Guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I have to show you something. I found it.
You found it?
I found the movie that my parents took me to see when I was 4.
4 years old?
Yeah.
And oh my God.
I did not expect that.
Okay, I'm going to post the link, and Warren, I want you to play a little snippet of this if possible.
Okay.
And if you want to watch, like, holy shit, watch this and then picture the cutscene in your mind.
So let me see where I am because I have to redirect it. Yeah. Dude, This is the movie I'm talking about. This is The Fugitive. You don't like The Fugitive?
Well, I was 4. I didn't give a shit about The Fugitive.
This is The Fugitive. Whoa. Wow, that was...
Dude, this is a legendary scene.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back and watch this movie now that I'm old enough to appreciate it. But that's totally what this is, like, these film references that Kojima is pulling. This is definitely one of them. Copy, paste.
That is.
Boom.
This is
scene
an amazing...
for scene.
Yeah, this scene's amazing. Like, this is like one of the best lines of the movie right here. He puts the gun down to show that he's he wants to do it, and he says... They show the dam.
They show him juking off the dam.
Such a good shot.
It's so goofy there at the end.
Yeah.
But we are looking at this
90s.
wrong. We're trying to assess it as a moment of Kojima
really liked this so much so that he put it in his
game. It's not Kojima writing a moment that's supposed to be fitting for the game. It's Kojima delivering fan service to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But also it really works in that context, I think.
Oh, it really does. And that's a great, dude, just for your sake, Chris, if we even need to like assign it to a PC or something, like that's The Fugitive is a great movie. It's really good. And that's definitely the scene I was talking about. So I'm glad at least we're on the right page because I'm like, hold on a minute. Like there's like one legendary standing at the end of a tunnel scene with a gun. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm glad. And of course, a 4-year-old would not care about the fact that Richard Kimball didn't kill his wife. It was the one-armed man. Is that famous line? It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. Is from that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Ocelot's motives are a little odd, but we will get to that when we get to like later story moments. And it does make sense that he does want to like best him in a sense, but he still doesn't get the satisfaction because Snake just Peter Pans right off.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even get a chance. And he does fire a couple shots and realizes that the next shot would have been the bullet. So he didn't get to fire the shot that he wanted. We land in a river and we are under the water. We are, stuff's going on. We're sort of blacking out, I guess, and we wake up and the entire riverbed is in flames. So very desolate, very dreary.
It looks a lot like the riverbed you take to the warehouse.
Right. Except all in flames. You're absolutely right.
Right.
So earlier in a previous episode, we were talking about using the crock cap. It almost feels exactly the same. We're trudging through. We're at almost waist deep water, and it begins to rain. And we get to meet who, as we keep talking about this, is like slowly becoming like my favorite character of the Cobras.
Mm-hmm.
We meet
Sure.
the Sorrow. And if you guys will let me indulge, you got it. I love his intro.
So sad. A host of sorrows. And you are one of them. I am the sorrow. Like you, I too am filled with sadness. This world is one of sadness. That brings death.
Death brings sorrow. I don't know, it's just such a really cool layer of the other end of it. So like the Fury sort of talks about it. He says, I'm off to join the Sorrow, right? So basically what we're learning about him is that they carry their emotions into battle, and when battle has won, you become one with the Sorrow. And we'll go into it later of what that means, and they actually do discuss it a little bit later in the game, and we'll definitely talk about that in a later story episode. But as of right now, we know he's super important to the boss. He cries blood, and it's a very unique boss fight. Now, chances are my version of the boss fight was the easiest, so I'll go first. But you basically are trudging very slowly through this waist-high water river with a desolate world on all sides outside of just you're only able to move forward. And the Sorrow is floating around, and I only had 8 people show up in my battle.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all of the Cobras and all of the hover guards. So I'll let you guys go a little more into it, but it gets a little heady, and I definitely want to talk a little bit more about this. But Chris, how was your Ghost Dad experience?
Well, it was long. It was a very long walk. Yeah, I think I counted like at least 230.
Oh my god.
I think, yeah, it was a lot of people. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. It's like your health kind of gets zapped, or stamina gets zapped when you touch them. So it's a game of like trying to avoid the guards, but it's very difficult to do that.
But at the same time, you don't really have to if you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Unless you have a desire for a particular item. So, Tori,
okay, fair.
Walk me through a little bit about how this fight goes and how it went for you. So, like, what are the mechanics of this fight, and then also how to go for you?
Sure. The mechanics of this fight are holding forward on the left joystick. Sometimes taking it a little to the left or a little to the right. If you want to have the full extent of the walk, you will walk to the left and right, avoiding A, all of the bodies you slaughtered along the way, and B, a little volt of, I don't know, petrification that the Sorrow sends your way.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not particularly concerned with getting to the end of it, and you know how to end this fight, you can just let those bodies you have reaped from this plane take their little soul's kiss from you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can let that little petrification get to you, and you can end this battle a little more quickly.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, what a sad. So the Cobras all show up because they have microbombs in them, which you'll hear about in the Baddies episode. So you cannot not kill them. Mine showed up. Mine showed up.
I only see the end.
Interesting. I did
I
not
don't
get
know
that.
why. I don't know why you see all of them, but I only see the end because
That's so
he's the
weird.
only one
I
I
have
can
all
never.
4 Cobras. That's so weird. Yeah, so I had all
Yeah.
4 Cobras and then 4 soldiers is what I had in my playthrough.
Maybe I need to try this again.
And all the Cobras. I had a bunch of guards, a bunch of scientists too.
Oh, I remember.
Chris.
I remember you like
Chris.
walking us through, like, we were almost at the end. There's scientists from Groznygrad now.
Oh no. Oh man.
But yeah, so this is a fascinating character. Like, I love Ghost Dad and everything about him. And the boss fight is very interesting. And it's that fresh way of the burden of sorrow, the land of the dead, right? And after my first playthrough, I'll mention it to you guys because the Sorrow also has like that like beam attack. He can like shoot something at you like from his like sort of chest area. And am I the
and he
only one
terrifies you.
who thought about Donnie Darko during this?
No, that's exactly what I thought about. But the added bonus is that once it reaches you, you get a little.
Yeah, and
So, like, if you're
the
playing
jump
this at
scare of
night,
his like sweet ass
his face.
artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is fun. So like if you're opting to end this battle as soon as you can just let that hit you a bunch, but you have to deal with that noise every time.
Yeah. And it's loud and it's effective.
It is.
Jesus. A little fun fact is if you save during this boss fight, it will label the area like it normally tells you where you saved. It'll label it as ? If you know, so legend has it, this is not technically confirmed, but they say that within the Sorrow's face is a distorted version of Kojima at the time of making it. So
I'd
it's
heard
not
that.
necessarily confirmed just because there's no way to truly confirm it, but it was something, and we all know that he is always trying to find ways to sneak himself into his games. So I could see that.
He really is a little Tarantino head, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a little narciness to him. So when it came to understanding how to survive the fight and how to get through this fight, did everybody truly understand like what the hell was going on in the moment?
Not the first time I played this, certainly not, and even not the first time I came back to it from years. I forgot how to end this fight.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I understood what was happening technically when I came back to it from a break, but I couldn't remember how to end it exactly.
I'm on the same page, especially the first time I played this. I think I played the boss fight like 2 or 3 times. Like it didn't process for me because I didn't do the fake death pill thing with Johnny in my first playthrough, right? Like I knew that you could probably utilize that in some other manner, but to make it exclusively a story related thing, I did notice that the Snake is Dead screen is different than the normal Snake is Dead screen. So they do draw attention to it. Yeah, like very subtle, but enough for you to realize that maybe something's off because you normally don't get the bottom saying something. Like, you know what I mean? Something else. Yeah, the text sort of shows up.
So that's another thing too. You said if you save here, there's a little something different, but also if you just call your support team, anybody from your support team should clue you into the fact that this is not something normal.
Yeah, they're all doing your death snake, like they all think you're dead, which is kind of cool because you are in the land of sorrow. And I don't know, I really dug it, but I was confused. But I knew it was a Kojima game, so I knew there was something special here. But eventually I did learn, and if you get to the end, you literally get to the end of the river, and you can sort of, quote unquote, touch his body, the Sorrow's body. And when you do that, you still die like you normally would, You just use the fake death pill, or I guess the revival pill, to bring yourself back.
Right.
And because you can't trank him or anything, but if you get to the end, you are rewarded with the spirit camo. And we'll go into what that does in future episodes, but it sort of just shows up in your inventory, which is really cool.
It's like he sticks it in your little pocket.
Yeah, because he can, right? He's the Sorrow. He can do that shit. So is there anything else we want to tie in with this? Like, this is basically where we're going to end our gameplay. And much like the last time we recorded this, holy shit, this is a long one, guys. So you're welcome if you like longer ones. Sorry if you don't. But is there anything else we want to add before we finish up here as far as story bits?
Actually, yeah, I do want to say a couple things. One, for you, Chris, specifically, and I assume for Alessio, I wrote in my notes, #Riverwalk with me.
Oh, funny.
Never heard that. Never heard that before.
I made a funny. Anyway, there was something I had paid more attention to this playthrough than I had previously.
Yeah.
Which is a couple lines by the Sorrow while you're walking through this.
Sure. Yeah, please do.
He says something, I can't remember at which point, but he starts to say something like, "You know your sons, sons. You will all be killed by your own sons." And it's just that little itty bit of foreshadowing that we get from a prequel that's really satisfying at this kind of moment, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I would just say violence begets violence, right?
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
Just because Snake thinks he's a breaker of this chain, he's really just a part of it.
Right.
Oh, of course. Definitely. I know that feeling. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up another story-focused episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance. Thank you so much for listening again. It was a long one. Somehow we still got it to be as long as last time. But wherever you guys listen, if you do have an opportunity to rate and review us, we absolutely appreciate it. It goes a long way with the algorithm. If you want to reach out to current or previous hosts, you can go to MetalGearMondays.com. You can get us at Facebook and Instagram at Metal Gear Mondays. You can go to Twitter at Metal Gear Monday. Please, if you guys have an opportunity, shout out our Patreon. These guys are awesome. For $1 a month, you can get into the Discord, which is a community that we are starting to build. We have a monthly game club now. We're able to celebrate each other's creations. We're doing Twitch. We're doing live streams all the time. Seems like daily there's at least one going on across the board with either one of our team members or literally some of the hosts here are streaming. So we'd absolutely appreciate it for just $1 a month. And there's some extra stuff. We do extra podcasts if you do any more. We do our show notes. There's a lot of opportunities out there for just more content, and we definitely talk about more than Metal Gear. We just know, we know our audience, so we're going to still give you guys the goods as we keep doing this. But there's a lot more to talk about out there outside of this as well, because this has also had a lot of influences, as well as Metal Gear has influenced other game designers. But with that said, Chris, where can they find you on the internet?
Y'all can find me on the Discord. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Hampton II.
And Tori, what about you?
You can find me on the Discord, Twitter, and Instagram at Young Neil. You can find me on Facebook if you want at. Everybody uses at for Facebook, right? Tori Cortez is how you'll find me. You won't find any posts or anything though, so have fun looking at a picture of my my lovely creation drawn by Sean in my cover photo, and a picture of Daniel Lazarski as my profile picture.
Nice.
That's about all you'll see.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Warren Minix pretty much everywhere. If you're looking for gamer tags, I'm Untaggable Gamer. And I am part of a band, Spooky Forest. If you want to find us, we're at Spooky Forest Band. We do have an album out on Spotify. Dragons Used to Live Here. We appreciate a listen and some feedback. With that being said, y'all, I think we have wrapped up another episode. And I think it's time to let her rip, Jack.